Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the day. Welcome to the StarCraft Evolution, not your typical bi-weekly event. Welcome to the Fall Championship 2024 Qualifier. I'm of course Show's Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. First things first, so I do want to apologize because we did miss out on the KSL today. Today we were supposed to have 3 broadcasts. We only have 2, as I'll be honest, it was like 2 hours until KSL, and I had a nap. I had a nap, and I set a bunch of alarms. I don't know what happened. The alarms did not wake me up, and by the time I woke up, it was already an hour and a half into the cast, or into the tournament, into KSL. So we missed out. We missed out on the KSL. We will be casting KSL in a couple of days on Monday via replay, so there will be a KSL replay cast, but we apologize for not covering it live at the time. But we are here live for the qualifier of SEL. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkione, we have the Korean Protoss player, the pink Protoss. It is Ateshi. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss, the Broodwar Protoss. It is Luna C. And if you're in the chat, predictions now open. Place your bets on who you believe will take the series. Best of luck in the chat. And a big shout out to Luna C, because of course he did actually raid us, in the towards the beginning of the broadcast. So much love to Luna C. We do cover him whenever we can, and of course I felt necessary to showcase Luna C, especially after the raid, and we'll see how he does compete in this event. For those that are curious, exclamation mark B in the chat, exclamation mark B, the bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, the bracket is full of amazing players, and top 4 will qualify into the main event. For those that are unaware, StarCraft Evolution, there is going to be a Fall Championship. There's going to be a GSL group stage with 4 groups, a playoff bracket, of course, as well. A lot of money on the line. It's going to be over 1,000 USD as the prize pool, and this is the first and only qualifier for the event. Now, that doesn't mean these are going to be the only players. There's going to be qualifiers, of course, but also going to be seeded players invited via SEL, via all the online bi-weeklies, and how well they did perform in those tournaments. So I would imagine players like Shin, players like 3 Point and Honmono, some of the big regulars that have deeper and deeper and have good performances in those online weekly tournaments or online bi-weekly tournaments, I imagine they're going to be invited from those seedings, and there's going to be other invites as well. So of course there is a kind of multi-layering here to how players can actually make it into the event. Likewise, like this qualifier as well, as we have a wild build. So lots going on. Deshi is going for a 1-base all-in, is going for a proxy Robo, but the Robo is so far out of the way. I'm not too sure how quickly this can really come into play here. Lunacy likewise, proxy as well. 1-base Dragoon here from Lunacy, 1-base Immortal all-in from Ateshi. Oh boy. Here we go, the chaos has begun. Robo's almost done, and now I'm assuming this is for proxy Immortal, but yeah, there we go. Immortal is now on the way for Ateshi. Meanwhile, Lunacy is throwing down a 2 gateway, so it's going to be 4-gate Mass Dragoon. It's going to be a 4-gate 1-base all-in from Lunacy. Likewise, going to be 2 gates eventually into, I imagine, a 3rd gateway from the pink Protoss player. But again, it will take a little bit longer for this Immortal to come into play. It's very far out of the way. It takes a long time here to actually reinforce, to actually, come into play when it comes to the all-in itself. And there we go. Looks like a 3rd gateway now going to be placed down. The Immortal has arrived. And how does 1-base play compare to each other? The Stalker versus the Dragoon. Dragoon range is not quite done yet. They do start step 4. They do bring down 1 Stalker. They trade for 1 for 1 so far. Slightly better trade here for Lunacy. He will get away here, but he will lose another Dragoon. 2 for 2. Does back off. Does respect the Immortal. Has to pull back, but is banking on more Dragoons. Now, the scary thing for Lunacy is that half his production is across the map. And unlike SC2 Protoss, he cannot warp in and he cannot recall. So the units made from this proxy cannot really, they can't help in the defense. They cannot help back at home. They have to commit to an attack across the map, and they can depower some gateways or force a recall. Meanwhile, shield battery is on the high ground. Dragoon's getting in position. The first gateway is under fire. The Prism, no! Oh my god, Prism goes down. Massive pickoff. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, big investment there from Ateshi. Meanwhile, across the map, more Dragoons are amassing, and Lunacy is getting ready to push into that main and ideally force a recall. If not, I mean, he could just end the game by depowering the gateways and by going ham in the mineral line. He has yet to pull the trigger. Ooh, Adeshi gonna be expanding. This I'm not so sure about. And there we go. The proxy has been found. Adeshi turns everything back around. Now, at least the Nexus is gonna buy some time. It does soak some damage. There's a cancel on the Nexus. Dragoons, they do waddle in. To catch a probe. Adeshi racing back. Likewise, Lunacy looking for the proxy. And the pylon is gonna fall. Yeah, massive depowering of these gateways. 2 gateways depowered. Army racing back. Lunacy does up, not yet. Barely. He does find the all-in. Does find the proxy, I should say. The robo. And these Dragoons are going to be cleaned up, but what do they get in the process? They get 1 sentry, 4 probes, not too bad. And they drag everything back home. And meanwhile, everything's going to be depowered. No more gateways. No more robo. And Adeshi, does he try to transition? Does he try to macro back at home? Is that the plan? Oh, nice force fields. Very nicely done. Catches two more Dragoons. Lunacy, second guessing himself a little bit here. Does he commit? Does he expand? Do we somehow turn this into a longer macro game? Do we both take a natural? Adeshi's has been thrown down. Adeshi has a scout. He doesn't know. No shot. He hasn't seen the proxy. Lunacy, he's crazy. He's coming in. The proxy has not been found. More Dragoons on the way. This should not be happening. And there we go. Now he gets found out. Oh, a little bit premature for Lunacy. He's going to lose 3 Dragoons already. The rest of the army is a little bit mistimed. He's trying to come in for this round. Force fields will zone away most of the army. Dragoons are cleaned up. A better start for Adeshi. Oh my god. You can see Lunacy trying to stutter step forward. He does focus down 1. He does focus down both Immortals. Now it's only Stalker Sentry left. And Adeshi's holding. Adeshi's barely holding on. I mean, that's a lot of sentries. That's a lot of sentries, Pat. But he is holding on. Gateways are depowered. And eventually should be able to survive here. As I say that, though, the Artosis Pylon does survive. Warping completes. And Dragoons are forced back. Adeshi is still holding on. More reinforcements on the way. But remember, both players are expanding. And we are headed into, or we're settling down, headed into a longer game. Backup robo has been built. Prism has arrived. So you're trying to pick up any stray units. Double expanding even. Let's go. Rushing into a third. Bold move. Bold move out of Lunacy. Also, I apologize for switching the player names. Yeah, proxies are being cleaned up from both sides. And we're calming things down. 2 more gates on the way, so it's going to be a 4-gate setup here back at home for Lunacy. Getting into a forge, getting into, of course, his upgrades. Getting into his Master Dragoon production. I imagine eventually he'll be working towards his own robo, towards his own shuttle production. That'll be the ideal here for Lunacy. Meanwhile, Adeshi moving out with 1 Immortal and a massive amount of sentries. Again, force fields are that much more effective in this PvP matchup because there's no blink. Because there's no blink you have to worry about, I should say. So depending on the control of these sentries of the force fields, he can just lock down and slice up the army. Deal with it a portion at a time. So there's a lot of power here in these sentries. A lot of power. So Adeshi does reinforce. He has yet to scout the third. He doesn't know how greedy Lunacy is being. Doesn't know yet. So Adeshi does waddle up the ramp. Lunacy not in position. No shield battery either. Yeah, it's getting locked down. It's already going to be 1 Dragoon falling. Already a good pick-off here for Adeshi. And again, he has plenty of force fields. Locks down another Dragoon. Just 1 at a time. I say 1 at a time. This time catching 3. Ooh, 3 more Dragoons go down. And Lunacy just can't really engage too well here. On the flip side, though, running out of sentries. Running out of force fields. Catching another 3 Dragoons. Aye. Another 3 going to be going down. Meanwhile, we are out of sentries, out of force fields, but now there's only 5 Dragoons left. And Ateshi is breaking through. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. Warp in is not denied. Prism goes down. And it looks like so will the Immortal. Ateshi overextending. He did trade very nicely until that final moment. He overextended. He lost the Robo. He lost the Warp Prism. He lost the Immortal as well. A little bit unnecessary there for Ateshi. So he bleeds out a lot. And what's more important than that? The third base. The third base survived. The third base did not fall. Neither did the mineral line. So Lunacy can now take an economic lead. That push had to at least break the third. But again, Ateshi got a little bit too greedy. Does catch another Dragoon. War Prism's being remade. Ateshi getting into another War Prism. Still no Twilight Council, still no Blink of his own. Just focusing on purely Stalker, Sentry, Immortal. Likewise, Lunacy turning back around. Turning back, saturating his bases. There's his own Robo finally on the way. As I mentioned before, in PvP, this should be working towards shuttle production and potentially even shuttle drops. It's, I would say, risky going for shuttle drops just because you don't know if your opponent is going to be working towards Blink. And it'll be far easier here to defend, of course. As the SC2 Protoss. But now trying to catch up, getting his own third. And we can calm down. we can calm down a little bit here. As we do see Ateshi just no chill, building up another, what, 6 sentries before moving out once again. He's soon to be 8 sentries. Oh my god, so many sentries. So he's got mass sentries, he's got 2 immortals. His gateway army is lacking, is what I will say, but I mean, he makes up for that in more force fields. Jesus, look how many Dragoons he's pushing into. That's going to be 18 Dragoons. Even with force fields, the surround potential is insane. And over time, Ateshi's army quality is just not keeping up. Do you see Lunacy kiting back to his shield batteries? Ooh, nice force fields though. Yeah, shield batteries are out of range. Dragoons, they're locked in with the slow lots. Yeah, brutal losses. So many Dragoons go down. The boys are trying to help, but they can't engage. And it looks like Ateshi has done it. He has broken the main army. The force fields were the MVPs. I didn't have too much faith. I did not have too much faith in the force fields, but that was insane. And again, these shield batteries could not help. They were out of range of the Dragoons. Despite the Master Dragoon, it looks like Ateshi has done it. He breaks through the front line, takes down the final Dragoons. GG gets called, and Ateshi takes game number 1. Whew. GG. The power of Mass Sentry. Again, it is a very different PvP dynamic when you involve SC2 and Brood War, of course. Again, without Blink, sentries and force fields are that much more crucial, that much more important. Again, there's no, I was going to say there's no counterplay. Technically, you can try to get your own shuttle a little bit faster and maybe have some, Warp Prism Micro. Maybe have, I say Warp Prism, some shuttle micro to try to micro back or something like that. I feel like that might be the only way to really avoid that kind of situation or that kind of circumstance, outside of maybe diversifying your composition and involving your own zealots as well to protect your Dragoons. But yeah, a very, very different dynamic. Very different indeed. Meanwhile, my game has crashed, so I will need a moment. Un momento. I was having some server issues earlier, but I will get on that. And we can continue our series. I mean, so far, a strong start from Ateshi, strong start from our otherwise unknown Protoss player. I'm not too familiar with him, but it looks like he has clearly been putting in a lot of work in this mod and has been refining his style. It was a very chaotic start, of course, proxy versus proxy, very chaotic. And we'll see how the story ends. Do we go through the ace match, or does Ateshi take it all 2-0? Does he take it all? As we are getting into game number 2. When it comes to the qualifier, bear this in mind as well. There are no vetoes. Game 1 is going to be on Alcyone, Game 2 on Citadel, and Game 3 will be on Monty Hall. So the maps are predetermined. Here we go. This is a map that I don't think I've casted on, actually. Citadel. I think this is going to be me casting this map for the first time, so I'm ready. I'm ready to be introduced to a brand new map. Let's go. Let us go. Maybe DA for feedback. I don't know if you can tech up to something like Dark Archon that quickly, but maybe. Actually, hold on. Something more important than feedbacks, we would have to do something. I haven't seen the interaction myself. Regular Archons do break force fields, right? Does a Dark Archon break force fields as well? Because regardless, getting into an Archon just for that, right, just to break force fields might be the play as well, considering how powerful they can be against Dragoon, right? So interesting. Would be an interesting dynamic. Dark Archons do have the massive delta. There you go. There you go. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and oh my god. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Citadel, we have the pink Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss. From South Korea, it is Ateshi. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the teal Protoss player. From South Korea, representing the SC2 Protoss, it is Luna C. I will try to change the in-game name. Un momento. But yes, this is my first time in casting on Citadel, and as you can see, it is raining. To have the lovely rain and thunder sound effects. So far so good. Actually, my apologies, I think we have casted on a variation of this. This looks very similar to Troy, actually, now that I do think about it. But 4-player map. You can spawn top right, bottom left, bottom right, top left as well. So first things first, we are scouting for our opponents. We do see Lunacy scouting and checking bottom left first, trying to find the spawn location of Ateshi. So this is kind of, this is something that we do not see too often. Oh, that's a bridge. Oh, for a moment I thought it was a wall. But this is something that we don't see in SC2 anymore. But yes, this is a 4-player spawn map. So Lunacy is on the hunt. You can see Lunacy even sends out a second probe as well, scouting towards top right, trying to find his opponent. Meanwhile, we do see a more greedy opener here out of our pink Protoss player, Gate Expand. Very greedy. If Lunacy was going for 1 base all in, and with this 2-gate setup, it could be for a proxy, by the way, then our pink Protoss player is going to be in a bit of trouble. And here comes the scout. Now Lunacy knows. He does confirm he's now aware of the greedy build of the faster Nexus, and the question becomes, what does Lunacy do about this? Does he attempt to proxy, or does he expand and play from behind? Does he opt to play from behind? And now skirting around, scouting the main, probe taking a lot of hits, Zell likewise chasing the probe down. Ooh, the probe does fall. And Lunacy does not have a proxy out of the map. It looks like Lunacy will expand. Okay. It looks like we are headed in towards the mid-game. Now, getting into this kind of game state, of course, our pink Protoss player already has a Nexus, can now start saturating, can now start investing into that natural base. Likewise, Robo follow-up as well, so very low gateway count here for Ateshi rushing into a Robo, and I feel like this can mean one and one thing only, Reavers. I'm feeling Reaver play here with a fast Robo. And again, the pressure is on Lunacy to try to punish this. Because again, we're skipping gateways. We're skipping out on gateway units and an army in favor of rushing tank. You can see here 2 shield batteries on the way. Basically, Ateshi's trying to turtle up. But the shield batteries aren't done. How about 2v2? And with the help of the shield batteries, Ateshi will defend. He defends, he deflects the initial Stalker aggression. Meanwhile, Lunacy going for his own Robo. Okay, now this should just be for Immortal production, I would imagine. Meanwhile, there's the Reaver. Yep, Reaver's on the way for Ateshi. Rushing into Reavers and into Dragoon range. Meanwhile, Lunacy going to be responding with, initially, it looks like Immortal production. Getting his own shield battery up and running. Bay is on the way. Now, the Bay should be for War Prison speed. Oh, I say War Prison. Shuttle speed, the other one. Shuttle speed for Reaver drops. Meanwhile, Lunacy coming with Hallucination Scout. He has yet to scout the main. Lunacy is playing blind. He's playing in the dark, trying to figure out what exactly his opponent's up to. Stuttering also part of the mod experience. It's just the Korean server, unfortunately. If you notice, Game 1 was quite smooth, but here in Game 2, sometimes the routing to the Korean server is just really unreliable. So I do apologize for that. I do apologize. It is very subtle, but it's there. Here we go. Ateshi does move out. It's going to be 5 Dragoons initially. Likewise, Lunacy trying to set up here, trying to move out himself with his own Immortal drop. Uh-oh. Oh my god. The Prism is spotted. Is spotted for a moment. Ateshi, he thinks about it, thinks about turning back around, and he will. Okay, he does turn back around. He does respect the War Prism. Turning back around with the shuttle as well. I mean, I say is subtle, but yeah, you can see it there. Feel stuttering, man. Mortal Stalker dropping into the mineral line. And so far, not really finding any damage. Force back. Force back for now. Ateshi's keeping up. Again, he wants to go for that shuttle drop. But Lunacy is keeping him busy. Setting up his own proxy. I should say, Ateshi's trying to expand. It's going to be denied. Did invest in some Phoenixes. Phoenixes, they will shut down the shuttle. Oh, the shuttle, it cannot escape. Not like this. He's going to try to. Yeah, shuttle goes down. Reaver as well. Gets 1 Stalker. But just the 1. Nice cleanup here from Lunacy. The Reaver doesn't really pay for itself whatsoever. More Phoenix production on the way. Getting into not Blink, but Charge. Charge is in production. Oh. Ooh. As we do commit into the natural, but it looks like Lunacy is going to be punished. Yeah, this would be quite worth it here. He does target down 2 workers, but only 2. And Lunacy, he does also lose his own Immortal as well. They've gotten a Reaver, but at the cost of an Immortal, a War Prism. So a bit of a give and take. Not too worth it from Lunacy. Behind this, just building up his army. Charged up Phoenix Immortal. Still getting map control with those Phoenixes. And from the other side, we do have what looks to be Charged Lord Archon. The Zealots are amassing. We do have a couple of Reavers here to reinforce, but Archon production's on the horizon as well. Very different army composition compared to Game 1. Phoenixes, they get into the mineral line. And we spoke about this earlier, but the Brutal Protoss army is so much more immobile. Without Blink, dipping between the bases, rotating between the natural, the main, and the third is just that much more difficult here for the Brutal Protoss player. And Phoenixes are a good way to abuse that. I should emphasize, without Blink and without Recall. So it's going to be 4 probe kills. Lunacy rotating around. Likewise, we've built up towards 2 shuttles. Up. Catching a Dragoon. Not bad. One Dragoon goes down. Main army's going to be pushing. Yeah, Deshi's had enough waiting back at home. He's taking a third base at the same time. While he does move out across the map. And what do we have at home to defend? We have 3 mortals. 3 mortals, the main army is spotted. Phoenixes, they do respond. They race back. Deshi's pushing in. And can he break through? A lot of this will come down to those shuttle shots. Oh, I should say to the Reaver shots. Well, Zealots, they do dive in. Reaver shots going off here on the Zealots, but it looks like Lunacy, he will overwhelm. He shuts out every single Dragoon. The Dragoons get surrounded. Phoenix, they dive on the shuttle. And the Lunacy, he will clean this up. I say that, what the Zealots here of Ateshi, they come in. The Zealots, they're cracked. Oh my god. They clean up whatever's left. They get into the mineral line, and Ateshi does he have enough? Up. Oh, not quite. The final shuttle goes down. Phoenixes eventually will clean this up. That is going to be so many probe kills. That's going to be 13 probe kills. Also, it doesn't help, I don't know if you noticed, but seeing like teal and pink Zealots clash into each other is just like a blob of gray. that was very hard to read. Seeing Zealots of this kind of like this color palette clash, especially over this. Oh my god, over all the gray. But yeah, eventually the pink Zealots, they did come out on top. They were able to break through. Storm is not resource, so this should be for Archon production. Phoenix is moving out. It's like the teal blends into the grass, and then you've got the pink that blends into the rocks. It's fine. It all just turns into gray. But both armies, they bounce off each other. We're building up. Lunacy still maintains a 20-worker lead despite losing so many probes. Still does maintain, bearing in mind he had a much faster third. And the army compositions are looking quite similar to each other. Dragoon, Charge Lot Archon from one, and Immortal Charge Lot Archon from the other. No disruptors, not yet. And the Reaver count was reset, so no additional Reavers in play either. And it looks like we're moving out for another clash. So I'll say speed on in. Oh. We do bleed off some of those Zealots though. Now upon seeing the army, Ateshi backs off. Splits up a couple of DTs into the mineral line. 6 probe kills, not bad. Observers on the way. 6 workers. And we might just enter a bit of a longer game here. Both armies backing up, building up, getting into 3-base saturation. I was still waiting for disruptor production from Lunacy. He does have the Bay, but yeah, no disruptors yet, or Colossus either. Just sticking with Charge Lot Archon. Does move out. I'm a little bit concerned by the low Archon count. It's only 2 Archons for Ateshi. Zealots, they peel off towards the 3rd. They get into the mineral line. At the same time, the main army does push towards the natural, going for the Dragoons. The Dragoons are exposed. Archons, they turn around to defend. The Archons will clean up the Zealots at least. But Lunacy breaks into the mineral line. And Dragoons are going down. Probes as well. And this natural base is going to be broken. It's going to be compromised. The army, though, coming in from behind, but into Archons. And Lunacy should have enough. Does that position, does pull Ateshi apart. And Lunacy has done it. Cleans up the main army. GG gets called, and Lunacy ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. I will quickly deal with what's going on, as latency has been quite high. Hopefully that does fix things. Fingers crossed. Or this could just make things horribly worse. Oh no. Google 4. Actually. Okay. We are getting ready here for that ace match. And as a reminder, game 3 is going to be on Monty Hall. Should be on Monty Hall as our players are just setting things up and getting things ready. When it comes to the last player pick, I believe the loser of game, basically the loser of game 2 gets to pick whether or not they play Brood War or SE2. So it's on Ateshi. It's going to be on Ateshi. That's kind of how the that's kind of like, in a way, kind of like an ace match advantage in a way. So what does he go for? Does he commit to Brood War Protoss or SE2? We will find out. We'll find out. Just catching up in the chat. For those who are maybe unaware, of course, this is not your regular SE2. This is StarCraft Evolution. It is kind of a melding of StarCraft 2 and Brood War. It is not the exact replicate of it. I should emphasize that as well. There are changes done to the Brood War units to help balance and help adapt it to the kind of StarCraft 2 engine and the StarCraft 2 setting as well. I believe there is a Wikipedia page detailing all of that as well, all of the changes, all of the differences between Brood War and StarCraft Evolution. So they are not carbon copies. Numbers have been adjusted and some effects have been changed. Bear that in mind. As we are jumping into that ace match, and we have confirmation. Okay, so it looks like Ateshi has chosen to switch to StarCraft 2. So Ateshi is going to be the StarCraft 2 player, and Lunacy will be the Brood War player. Oh boy. Here we go. Again, overall, I did appreciate that Ateshi did approach Game 2 very differently when it came to his army composition, going for a more charged out Archon heavy composition instead of Mass Dragoon. And we can definitely see a potential with that kind of army as well. But now we're getting into the ace match, and welcome everyone to one of the more chaotic maps out there. Welcome to Monty Hall. This is a pseudo island map. We'll get into it as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. In the hold on, I have to get rid of this. There we go. In the bottom right-hand corner of Monty Hall, we have the South Korean Brood War Protoss, the teal Protoss. It is Lunacy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean StarCraft 2 Protoss player, the pink Protoss. It is Ateshi. Here we go. Now, what do I mean by pseudo-island map? Well, as you can see, we have mineral walls. You have one base to yourself, and we have minerals walling you off completely from your second, third, and fourth expansion. So you have to mine through. Bear in mind as well that the gold mineral patch here, you can mine through quite quickly. So there is a gold mineral patch you can very quickly mine through, so you can scatter across the map and actually expand, but only small units can actually fit through that location. A probe can, but most units cannot. Meanwhile, these mineral patches are 30, so it does take quite a lot of trips here to actually mine through these patches. And Lunacy is going on a bit of a trip. So he mines through the gold minerals, and then he does move out across the map. And again, mining through this patch here isn't quite necessary to expand. And yep, there we go. Ateshi does move out. Scouting as well. And it looks like Lunacy is setting up for a proxy. The pylon is going to be placed and is set up. Now, the other thing to bear in mind as well, something that I should emphasize, is that each one of these bases leads into a lane. Like, as you can see here, there are walls. The terrain does completely wall off each lane, each kind of attack path. So because our pink Protoss player mined through the center, he won't be able to scout the northern side without mining through these patches here, which he has done so. He has expanded. So Ateshi going for a more economic opener, Lunacy rushing into a robo. So proxy robo, one base all in. It's going to be one base all in from Lunacy. Probe Scout does come in. And the probe does confirm that the gases, only one pylon. Does get eyes on the expansion though. And the second pylon as well. Things are looking relatively standard. I am a little bit thrown off. Like, this is a big commitment here for Lunacy. So for Lunacy to expand, we'll see what he does go into here. I'm curious. The probe shouldn't really venture this far out, so this area should be unscouted. Does Lunacy cancel? Does he proxy? Ooh, oh my god. Okay, we're going proxy Reaver drop, but we're expanding behind it. So Lunacy is going to be expanding. He's going to be saturating his bases. You can see here, Lunacy is so vulnerable. Nothing at home. There is nothing at home to defend. Just now going into Dragoon range, into his first Dragoon as well. Likewise, we do see Ateshi just chilling back at home. He's got the one safety Stalker in position. Shuttle is out. Reaver's on the way. And there's shuttle speed as well. Big commitment here to the Reaver drop. And does Lunacy get away with it? Adept shades out. The Adept, can wreak havoc in the mineral line. And this natural base is very exposed. Adept is moving in, and Lunacy is going to have to pull away. Like, he can't really do much here. Does have that one Dragoon. Ooh, so far, 2 probes going down. The boys have to be pulled. 3 probe kills already. That's a good amount of damage dealt here by Ateshi. He scouts! Oh, he does scout. Does confirm. Yeah, Ateshi now aware of what's happening. Pulling back. Shield batteries on the way. Second Stalker. Sentry as well. Ateshi's getting in position. This was a big investment here by Lunacy. It has to pay for itself. Oh, goes for the Stalker, not the mineral line. Does 2-shot a Stalker. 1 Stalker goes down. Gets a Sentry. Nice pick off. And he will get the final Stalker up. Oh my god, doesn't. Barely does not. Warping does complete. And Lunacy, he has to get the hell out of here. He has to pull away. Oh god, he has to pull away. No! Oh, he's gonna lose everything. The Reaver goes down. The shuttle as well. Massive pick off. Ay, ay, ay. And Lunacy's, oh god, he is committing to an all-in. Proxying across the map. Another Reaver going down. Oh my god. And this is feeling disastrous here, as Ateshi's almost came to the production. Takes out another Dragoon. Trading 1 for 1. 3 more Stalkers have arrived. And I don't see a world where Lunacy can reinforce. Yeah, not like this. We'll lose control of the base, of the proxy. And there's no reason to turn around. Oh, the gateways, they're cancelled. I mean, what else can Lunacy do? Cancels the gateways. He's got nothing at home. He can make 1 Dragoon at a time. The boys are being pulled. And GG gets called. There's just nothing left here for Lunacy. Ateshi will take the series at 2-1. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations to Ateshi. My condolences to Lunacy. It was a very intense series, but I mean, that's the risk you take, right? Like, he went for a proxy robo into a proxy Reaver drop. Very cheeky, very risky, very committed. It got scattered. It got scattered. As a result, we saw that Ateshi was able to respond with a second warp in of a Stalker, so he was able to get in position as well to pull back to the mineral line. Because of that, he didn't lose a single probe. He didn't lose any workers to the Reaver drop. He lost, remember, it was 1 Stalker and 1 Sentry. That's all he lost to the Reaver, and that was not good enough. with that, GG. GG, well played. Ateshi will take the series and will advance on into the next round. And the question becomes, who will face off against him? Who is going to be in that next series? We're going to try and find out. Here we go. Let's have a look at the brackets. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Let us head on over and figure out what's been going on. And we have a lot of updates here. From the top, we have Velvet. Velvet takes down Gosu Dark 2-0. That is not the Talon Esports Dark, a very different kind of Dark. Protoss player. Velvet does take it. Velvet up against Rebellion in the next round in a PvP. There's a lot of PvPs going on in the upper half of the bracket. Winner goes up against Ateshi in a qualifying match. Scrolling down, we have Boanan. Boanan up against Ukabul in a Protoss vs Terran matchup. Ukabul took down Babes, 2-0. They're now facing off in a Protoss vs Terran. Scrolling down, we have a ZVZ between Rumiath and Mang Russell. Korea vs Korea, Zerg vs Zerg, currently mid-series. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Quanta. Quanta takes down Syntax and does advance on to face off against Top, aka Kiwian, in that qualifying match in a Terran vs Terran. Oh boy. We did get confirmation that Top, or Kiwian, he was playing under the ID of Satoru, so that is him facing off against Quanta. Do wish him the best of luck. I do favor Quanta in that series, but that TVT could go either way. Best of luck. Best of luck to both players in that best of 3. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have the STC, Korean Terran player, very old school, near and dear to my heart. The STC, sorry. He's up against Honak. Winner goes up against Starat. We just got an update. The SCT gets knocked out. Oh my god. Big win for Honak. I believe the STC might be casting. He does usually cast these events, so he might just play. Then when he gets knocked out, he can cast next round instead. Oh no, sorry. Looks like it was a misreport. Never mind, he won't be casting because the SCT does advance on to face off against Starat in that qualifying match. Oh boy, a lot of updates. A lot of updates coming in, and the question becomes, where do we go? What do we jump into? Where are we headed? Oh boy. So part of me wants to kind of stick with Ateshi in a way and maybe try to cover Rebellion's match if I can. Try to cover Rebellion versus Velvet into Ateshi. But I do know that, you know, all the qualifying matches ideally need to be casted. So if Quanta versus Satoru, or Quanta versus Kiwian, or the SCC versus Starat are about to begin, then we can always jump into that as well. We will see. Let's hold on. I can move this around a little bit. There we go. That's better. There we go. That's a better visual representation. Now, as a reminder, the round of 8 are qualifying matches. It's top 4. Top 4 do make it into the main event, so the semifinals will not be played. If players make it into semis, I mean, that's they're good to go. I believe they won't need to play out those matches for seeding purposes, from my understanding. My understanding. Boanan. Yeah, Boanan's in there as well, the Cannon Rusher himself. It's like a custom map for Moto with 2 lane. True, yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, your Heroes of New Earth or your Dota. R1/P2. Yes, that I believe means that for, I think the first one is Brood War. I think for Brood War they're playing random, and for SE2 they're playing Protoss, or maybe the other way around. Or for Brood War they're playing random, and for SE2 they're playing Protoss. Am I going for? Oh, I didn't notice. I do apologize. But yeah, looks like we have some downtime. Looks like all the other matches are currently mid-series, so we just have to wait. Just have to wait for one of these matches to open up, and then we can jump in. We can jump into our next series. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see. One is Brood War. Yeah, okay, yeah. So random Brood War and Protoss StarCraft 2. It was a good attempt, just unfortunately got scattered. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, it's very unfortunate it got scattered. Very unfortunate. Otherwise, I suppose we'll see you guys in after the short break. We're going to be going towards a short break here. Take this moment, get some snacks, get some food, get some water. Honestly, the qualifiers are almost over. The qualifiers are very short just because top 4 make it through, and 2 qualifying matches are already underway. So we'll be getting into one of the upper qualifying matches instead. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Till then, see you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the downtime. I apologize for the extended delay, but we have returned with a qualifying match with the beginning of this lovely best of 3. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkion, we have our blue Terran player, the SE2 Terran. It is the SDC. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player, the red Protoss from land of Taiwan. It is Starat. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat here. I'm not too familiar with how well versed our players are in this mod. Starat, of course, he did roll random. Bear that in mind as well. Did roll random, did land on Protoss, and despite that, blindly, the SCC is going for a proxy Rax. Let's go. Oh my god, he's crazy. He's crazy, he's wild, and I think this is my first time casting the SCC. I'm a little bit starstruck, a little bit. You know, we have of course, a long history with some of these players, specifically with the ex-Axiom players. For those who do not know, the SCC, he was not on Axiom, but he was living with the Axiom players. He was living with Crank, with Ryung, with Hart, with Alicia, with the Axiom boys back in the day. So the SDC was kind of like an honorary Axiom player, if you will, and that's also a kind of a reason why our tournament is called the Sparkling Tuna Cup. What are the initials of the Sparkling Tuna Cup? The STC, like it's like it's all there. So where there was a bit of a reference there to the STC specifically in our own tournaments, even just, you know, to have that kind of reference point. But here we go, we are going to be setting up, and we are setting up with the initial proxy. Reapers are on the way. Probe Scout will confirm that Lasterax is missing, so Starat, he knows that something's wrong. He knows that something is wrong, something is up. Do have a Zealot on the way to be safe and secure. Likewise, do have that Dragoon range where the Reaper has arrived. And with good enough micro, this Reaper should not go down. Oh. With good enough micro, bearing in mind as well that the SCC, he retired a long time ago. He retired a very, very long time ago. Only recently came back to casting and only recently came back to playing, which is why I don't know where to place the SCC. I know that, again, he was a very good player, very strong player back in the day, back in Heart of the Swarm. I actually think that the SCC, if I recall correctly, I think he retired before Legacy of the Void, or maybe going into Legacy, but a very, very long time ago, as he is going for the Proxy Starport. 1-1-1. The 1-1-1 setup here, Proxy Reaper into Proxy Starport. Cyclones are going to be on the way, as the SSC is getting ready for that eventual, I imagine, drop into the main, or maybe Proxy Liberator. Meanwhile, the Dragoon has arrived, Reaper gets owned back. So far, the SSC did not get much damage done in the main. And Starat is gaining map control. Starat does move out. Cyclone in position. Oh, gets a lock on. And we'll get on top of the Dragoon. And massive shots going off, doesn't quite pick it off though. Cyclone taking a lot of hits as well. Oh my god, and the Cyclone is going to fall. A strong start for Starat. One Cyclone falls, another Cyclone on the way. We can see that the SCC he is attempting to expand, but he is in trouble. He is now in trouble. Boys are being pulled to repair. Cyclone does arrive. Will hold the line for now. Oh! Will barely hold on. Can be repaired. Yeah, will defend. Meanwhile, we have confirmation. It is going to be the Proxy Liberator across the map towards the main. The Lib is on the way. And we even have the SSC committing into Marauder production. Jesus, very tech heavy here. Going Cyclone Marauder. Reaper does get across the map. Didn't go down earlier. Gets 2 probes. But the Dragoons, they do rally across the map. They commit. And they're going for the Cyclone. One Cyclone goes down. Repairs only on the other. Marauder has arrived. Reaper goes back in, Liberator into the main. Chaos all over the place. Looks like with the help of the repairs, the Cyclone will defend. Meanwhile, probes are falling left to right. Sorry, late reaction. Late reaction for the Protoss. 7, 8, 9 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. So much damage. Dragoon as well. Ooh, Dragoon goes down. No mining in the main. Meanwhile, across the map, that one Cyclone is still barely holding on. Oh no. Cyclone goes down. Another one pops just in time. Liberator find the force as well, but that was 12 probe kills. 12 probes across the map, but bear this in mind, the fact that Starat is still in a 2-base economy. Can still make 2 probes at a time, can still maintain himself, and the Dragoon count is still getting higher and higher. Oh my god. Yeah, so many shots going off. Takes out another Cyclone. That was a lot of dead Dragoons, though. Is this worth it? Gets a Marauder. And again, these trades are still going to be good enough here for the Protoss. He might not be killing the Terran player, but he's containing on 2 base or 1 base. Picking up a Widowmine. Delaying the expand. Building up more Dragoons, just rallying everything across the map. Just purely Dragoon. And it looks like he's breaking through. He takes down the depot, busts into the main. What is it to defend? Oh, does have stim, but barely any Marines. Yeah, no Marauders either. It looks like Starat, he is going to be able to do it. He will overwhelm. There's 1 Marine left against 6 Dragoons. Now 5, but so many. And they can just stutter step forward. And what's in the main? We have a handful of Marines trickling out. We have 1 Marauder as well. Bunkers on the way in the main. Another Liberator has arrived. Jeez. The SCC doesn't stop. Keeps going. Cyclone gets another couple of probes, but not too many. This time a much better defense, much cleaner defense here from the Protoss. From Starat. He defends back at home. He's pushing into that main base, dealing so much damage. Remember, the SCV force up all these boys. They're not mining. Marauder gets started down. There is that 1 bunker, though. The Dragoons, they avoid the bunker. Pushing in towards the main. Oh, they barely do not get the Marauder. And more boys are being pulled. The SC, he's holding. He's barely... Oh, no! He's trying to hold on here, but he's down to 1 Marauder. And he just doesn't have enough. He just can't hold on. Not anymore. Valiant effort here, the defense by the SCC. But GG gets called, and Starat takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Starat does take a lead in the series. They get a very chaotic game 1. Bear this in mind as well, that the SCC didn't even know his opponent was Protoss. He had no idea who his opponent was. Remember, it was a random player, and he just went blindly into the initial Proxy Reaper, into the follow-up Proxy Liberator. He did do a lot of damage. Remember, 12 probes went down with the Liberator harass. But back at home, he wasn't able to defend. He wasn't able to maintain himself on base. He wasn't able to expand either. The non-stop Dragoon aggression eventually brought him down. Eventually did bring him down. And now we're getting into our next game. We are getting ready for game number 2. And as a reminder, game 2 is going to be on Citadel. It's going to be on Citadel. And we'll be entering another TVP, I would imagine. Yes, yes, he's picking a Brutal Terran. Just getting all the casters involved. Just catching up. Yeah. Looks like we're actually waiting for some of our other casters as well. Looks like, okay, looks like the entirety of the round of 16 is concluding. And we are going to be covering, I believe, every single qualifying match. That's going to be a lot of matches. That's going to be a lot of best of threes. But I think we're going to be covering them one after the other. That might be the plan. Just waiting for our lovely Spanish caster, El Hermoso, El Hermoso. I mean, shout out to all the other language casters as well. Shout out to Cyan, who's casting in Brazilian, Enki in Spanish, Bratok, of course, in Russian, TKL in French. Ah, do appreciate. Okay, we have confirmation. So the way this format works is it's a loser's pick when it comes to picking whether they want to play on SE2 or Brood War. So because the SEC lost game 1, he is picking to commit and to stick with StarCraft 2. Meanwhile, that means that Starat is going to play Brood War once again, which means once again he picks random. Now that means he can land on random Protoss, or we can land on Protoss, Terran, or Zerg. The real question becomes, though, is the SEC going to try and cheese again? Is he going to go for another proxy? I hope not. I hope he plays it out standard, but it all comes down to the STC. Here we go. So yeah, we have confirmation that every single qualifying match is going to be casted. I know that other people, there were people asking about Quanta. You know, are we going to be casting some Quanta at some point? The answer is yes. After this series, we'll be jumping into Quanta versus Kiwia. We will be there. Go. Here we go, we're getting into the ace match here and spawning in the top right-hand corner. Oh, sorry, not the ace match, sorry. We're getting into game 2. My apologies, my apologies. I'm getting ahead of myself. Getting into game 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Citadel, we have the South Korean Terran player, the StarCraft 2 Terran. It is the STC. There we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have, the random player rolling Brood War Zerg from Taiwan. It is Starat. Here we go. Here we go. As we are going to be expanding back at home, it's just going to be hatch first here out of our Zerg player. Likewise, we should be seeing a much more standard opener or macro opener out of our Terran player. Something important about the map that we just loaded into, this is a 4-player spawn map. So neither player really knows if their opponent is right next to them horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. They don't know the location of each other yet, but with the help of this Overlord Scout, Starat will confirm. Going to be a very fast scout here from Starat. Likewise, if the Overlord is spotted by the building, then the SAC will also be able to confirm the location of his opponents upon seeing the scouting pattern of the Overlord as well. So there's a bit of a give and take here, potentially, if the Terran player is able to get eyes on that Overlord. As for now, the SAC going to be pulling up. Ooh, going for a double gas opener, double gas into a factory makes sense considering he does not know what he's up against. Remember, the SSC does not know if he's up against a Terran, Protoss, or Zerg player, so he's going for a very safe, tech-heavy build, which means the Zerg player has a bit of a better start, a stronger start early on. Overlord dipping forward, still has yet to confirm. Oh, we'll get eyes on the Marine. Yeah, the Marine is scouted, the Overlord as well, and now everyone knows. Now everyone is aware of what's going on. You can see the SCV immediately does pull away. Here we go. Bro, Enki's jumping in mid-series. Oh, we're letting him know. Letting him know. It's all good. Oh, he's doing it again, doing the same build. Bold. I mean, in a way, the same build is going for a 1-1-1 proxy starport into, I imagine, proxy liberator. Lings are moving out. Oh, Starat rushing into a lair. That I was not expecting. So very fast second gas guys into fast lair. This I imagine is going to be for 2-base Muta. That would make the most sense in my mind. For those that are curious, Hydra production is hatch tech, not lair tech in Brutal Zerg. So going into Hydra play wouldn't make sense to wait for the lair or anything like that. So I'm leaning towards Mutas, but we'll see if maybe he has something else in store for us. Something more crazy. Do you have our Spore colonies being set up? Or Sunken colonies as well. Hellions are moving out. Liberator as well, so it's going to be Hellion Harass towards the right, and Liberator towards the left. Now the SEC is expanding, is not going for the 1-base all-in, but he is being aggressive nonetheless. So far started, he's keeping up with the Hellions. Colony is now done. And the Zerg player will defend. Doesn't want to overextend though. And pushes out off of creep. And massive Hellion shots going off. And that was not the best commitment there from Starat. He bleeds out a lot of Lings. And there it is. There's the Spire. As we mentioned, 2-base lair should just be 2-base Muta. The other thing this could have been is maybe like a 2-base like Nidus all-in. Like a Nidus room also does require the lair. So that was the other possibility. At least in my mind, that was the other possibility. I mean, maybe there's like some Dropper Lord all-in that's also like potential. There's like potential there maybe. Ooh, as once again the Lings that keep getting baited out. They get baited out into the open, liberated into the main. More Hellions are amassing. Lings are getting roasted. Oof. So many Lings fall. It's been 23 Lings. Oh my god. That's a lot of Lings. Liberated into the main, bearing in mind, no queens. It's Brutal Zerg, no queens to defend. It has to be Spores. Spore does finish, but Liberator out of range of the Spore Crawler. I mean, there's no answer. Straight up, like, what can you do? There is no answer to the Liberator. It's just in position, and it denies any kind of scouting or any kind of mining in the main. And I think that's just game. I'll be honest, that's brutal. We have some Scourge on the way. That'll help. But another Liberator from behind? Jesus. And this is brutal. Again, without any preemptive Spore Crawlers, like, what can you do? What can you actually do here? Oh my god, as the drones line up. Scourge have arrived, but Hellions, they just annihilate them in our line. 22 more drone kills. 23. Oh my god. 23 drones go down. There's still the one Liberator in the main. Scourge will clean it up. But this is game-ending damage. Aye. Unfortunately, there was no Spore in the main either. The Mutas will clean this up, but Starat, he is down to 4 workers. Only 4 drones. And he can't recover. It's no shot. So it looks like we are looking to get into the ace match here. As much as I would love to see a wild comeback from our Zerg player, I mean, they're down to 5 drones. There's only so much you can do with such a limited economy. Mutas are quite expensive as well. How many Mutas are there? There's 2. 2 Mutas and 2 Scourge. That's all there is. And all that the Terran player has to do in this position is just chill, build up on 2 bases, saturate, build up more Cyclones, more Hellions. I mean, with Mass Cyclone, this army can in the game. Like, what are Mutas going to do to this? What are they going to do? No. Aye. As they attempt to dive into the mineral line, but alas, no way in. Cyclones are behind. They shut down one of the Mutas. And GG gets called. The SEC will tie the series. We are going to game 3. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're going to the ace match. Let's go. When it comes to that build, honestly, it looks really brutal. As I mentioned before, the anti-air defense, especially early on by Zerg players, is heavily reliant on Spores and on Hydras, is what I would typically say. Like, usually, standard ZBT is Ling Hydra into Lurker Tech. But without Hydra Tech, rushing into the Spire like that, mutas, of course, are very expensive, and there was no Spore in the main. To be fair, it's also because of the proxy. Because Liberated was proxied, it hit earlier than normal. Did hit much earlier. Because of that, I'm sure in a standard game, Starat would have had a Spore in position, but was caught with his pants down. He wasn't fully aware of what was going on, and the SSC did catch him with his pants down, did snowball out of control. And with that, we're going all the way to our final game. It's going to be on Monty Hall. Catching up. The second series not to be a tour. Oh, Boanan, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? The Cannon Rusher himself. We'll be casting some Boanan later on in the evening. Don't you worry. We'll get there. Boanan infamously 2-0 Classic. What was it, like 2 weeks ago at this point? Or a week ago? Taking down Classic 2-0 in the last SEL. Boanan. Have to wait a million years. Oh, no. Oh, not like this. It's like, we'll make them quick, Papi. We'll do our best. It's not like we have a TBT after this. Oh. True. Unfortunately, there is a Terran versus Terran before Boanan's series, but we'll get there. It's okay. You know, you have some time to get some food. You know, you can make some dinner. Get some water. Rest up, Papi. Rest up. But here we go. We're getting into the ace match and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Monty Hall. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Brood War Terran. It is the STC. Dinner at 4 p.m. Big. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have. You can meal prep. You know, you can clean the house. In the top left-hand corner, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss. It is Starat. Now, because Starat is playing Protoss, playing StarCraft 2, he did pick Protoss, he did not pick random. In the last 2 games, he was rolling random, so the SCC was playing blind. He was playing very blind when it came to his openers. This time, he knows what he's up against. He knows, he is aware, and my eyes are on this SCV. Now, once again, welcome everyone, welcome one and all to Monty Hall. This is a pseudo-island map. We have the main base, and we are fully walled in by all these minerals. Someone else did kind of relate this to, or did kind of compare this map to a MOBA map. Does make sense, because there are 3 lanes. There are 3 lanes on this map. If you mine through one, you gain access to the lane, and you can't really gain access to the others from the center, the left, or the right-hand side, except unless you're working with drop play, for example, with like medics, with dropships, with shuttles, that sort of thing. As the terrain does fully wall off these 3 areas, these 3 lanes. Meanwhile, we do have the proxy factory across the map. Oh boy, the SSC has been very aggressive. He's going to be opening up 2 racks back at home with a proxy factory across the map. I imagine this is going to be for a tech lab and proxy tank production. That is my, I would assume that's the case. We'll see if we take an extra gas geyser. Oh my god, as we are rushing into an academy. Okay, the academy's on the way to get in towards stim production, I imagine. And we'll see how this all comes together. Meanwhile, back at home, Starat opening up Robo. Very safe opener out of the Protoss player. Oh my god, going gate into Robo into a second gateway before expanding. We're floating in! He's crazy! He's floating inside! The factory. And I believe it'll barely be out of range, just barely. It's gonna be close. We do see Starat mining through the center to expand. Meanwhile, yep, the factory, and we're going for the proxy vulture right into the main base of the Protoss. Ay. Oh, but he doesn't know. He doesn't see, man. Vulture production has begun. Meanwhile, the Protoss player just focusing on eventually expanding, on breaking out. But again, because of the safe opener, Fast Immortal's on the way. And how long will the SC wait? How long does he wait? He is waiting for at least a second Vulture. That means with the help of the Chrono Boost, this Immortal may pop out in time. Depending on the army positioning here, these Vultures might not actually get much done. Again, depending on where the Immortal is going to be. Oh my god, he saw. He saw. Does Scout, does get eyes on this. Oh, the force field. He's crazy. Locks down one and both vultures as well. Both vultures go down only for 2 probes. A much better trade here for the Protoss. Shuts down the proxy. And Starat, he defends. And he's still in 1 base, by the way. Going for a second gateway. And is there to expand. He's breaking out, and now at least his factory, Dust Scout does confirm, going to be landing back into the main, back at home, building up a hefty bio army with Marines, with the medics, of course, and soon to be Stim. Our Stim is already done. And you can see the SSE just scanned. He's looking for the expansion. He's trying to confirm, is this a 1 base all-in or not? We can see it is. It is a 1 base all-in for the Protoss player. 3 gateways of Robo, the prison's moving out to reinforce. It's all or nothing for Starat. Back at home, no bunkers. Supply block, now is not the time. Now is not the time for a supply block. Vulture production continues, but back at home, what is it to defend? And sure, there might be a wall, but that's what the War Prison's for. You can just, yeah, rally on over. Oh god, no, he's not paying attention. No, the War Prison goes down. Oh my god. Never mind. The army's stuck. The army cannot get in. The prison was here to elevate her in, but looks like he was distracted by the vulture. Oh no. Oh no. That could have been game. I mean, it's hard to say because the bio arm, the simmed bio can be quite powerful, true. But there was potential for Starat, and now the prism has gone down. The army is stuck outside. You can see the factory rotating to scout to confirm whether or not there's an expansion, and Starat continues with the all-in. Backup war prisms on the way, Dark Shrine as well for DTs. But you can see that the SEC has so much time. Now he's got dropships, bunkers on the way as well. Bunkers in production. This is a bold move. He's going for a drop. At the same time, here comes the main army. Oh my god, the main takes down the prism again. He takes it down for a second time. That still means we can't do anything. He can't push in. The prism goes down. He's cracked. 3rd war prisms on the 3rd time's the charm. 3rd war prism. Let's go. Oh my god, which means the dropship wing commit. The STC, he's going in. He's sending it. Oh, do you have a hallucinated prism though? Trying to bait out his opponents. The Marines get unloaded. And there's not much at home to defend, but there might be a recall. Ooh, there's no NG. Not enough NG for a recall. Marines, they step in. They go for the mineral line. Probes are going down. And again, Start, he still can't do anything with his army. He's still stuck outside. DT to defend, but that's going to be 11. Oh, that's the entire mineral line. That's 12 probes going down. Aye, aye, aye. So workers do full Starat. It's all or nothing. We have to commit. Send it, Bobby. But how fast can he send it? Let's get into the main. Here we go, does elevator over the wall. Does drop in, but there's a bunker, there's stim, there's medics. And the SC can hold his own. He can even pull the boys if he needs to. Bunker is going to go down. The boys are being pulled. The SC, can he hold? He can. He can and he will. The prism goes down as well for the 3rd time, and that's it. That's game. No GG. No GG. The SCC takes the series 2-1. Oh my god. The hell just happened? GG, well played. The SSC, he survives. A roller coaster ride of emotions there. The SSC, he started off with a proxy factory floating into the main, which did nothing, by the way. Remember, it was proxy factory, double vulture, killed 2 probes. He only killed 2 workers. He got completely shut down. It looked like the SSC, he was down and out, but he was able to snipe the first warp prism. Unfortunately, Starat, he was otherwise not looking, right? He was distracted. I want to believe he was distracted by the 1 vulture in the main, so he wasn't paying attention. The prism overextended, the prism went down, and that just gave the SSC so much time to recover, to get a bunker up and running, and to defend, and GG. Crazy. Congratulations. The SCC qualifies for the StarCraft Evolution Fall Championship. The SCC does qualify. Now we are getting ready for our next qualifying match. Let's go. We're getting ready for our next match here. Our two Terran players have been patiently waiting this entire time. We're going to be jumping into a TVT between Quanta and Satoru. Here we go, just making sure that we have all the casters involved. And game one is going to be on Alkyone. Let's go. Now again, Satoru is a player that we did broadcast last week in the previous SEL bi-weekly Open Cup. And I believe this is a rematch, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say either Satoru went down against Quanta or Honmono. I'm going to have to double check that. Gonna have to double check that here. Oh no, my apologies. Sorry, it was Satoru against Rebellion. That's it, that's it. So we have yet to see him in a TVT, and we'll see how he does compare as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkyone. We have our South Korean Terran player representing Streamer Zone. It is Quanta. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the StarCraft 2 Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Satoru. As I will just fix up his nameplate, I got you covered. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Predictions. Prediction time is here. Get your gamba going as predictions are open in the chat. Place your bets. Oh my god, as we are cheesing, we are proxying, not just with one. We have a second and a third SCV moving out across the map. We're going for a proxy 3 racks. It's going to be a 1-base all-in. Again, we've seen a lot of cheese and a lot of aggression in general in a lot of these tournaments in SEL, and it continues. It does continue. I always do cherish whenever we get a longer macro game, but it's not happening yet. No, not yet, Pappy, not yet. I mean, we did see some 3-base versus 3-base earlier in the PvP. True, we did get that between Lunacy and his opponent, and Ateshi. But for now, CC first. No. Quanta, he went CC first into 2 racks off of 0 gases. Very greedy build here by the Terran player. And because of that, his Marine production is delayed. Is heavily delayed here for Quanta. And I don't really... it's going to be a tough hold. We'll see. Marines are amassing. They're moving out. They will be delaying the command center. CC is going to go down, or at least it's going to be delayed. And the bunker's on the way as well. Boys, they have to be pulled. And Quanta, there's just so much time before he gets his first Marine. That's the problem here. The first Marine does begin. But more Marines are amassing. 1 SCV goes down on the high ground, but there's 2 SCVs left. Once again, the CC is going to be delayed. The first Marine about to pop out, but there's 3 Marines here for Satoru. Oh, no. And he's overwhelming, getting 4 SCV kills. Oh, more SCVs on the way. Can Quanta... Oh, God, but there's still 5 Marines! Yeah, there's 5 Marines. The bunker's almost done. Oh, my God. The bunker will not complete. Nice snipe there by Quanta. We'll delay the bunker. Marines pushing in. He's down to 2. 2 Marines left for Quanta, soon to be 3. But he's came to the production. Oh, barely doesn't get the Marines. Nice save. But even so, looking at the unit tab, 12 Marines for Satoru. We do see a cancel on the CC. More boys going down. And it's just a numbers game. Yeah, the boys are pulled here. It's just a numbers game. And Quanta's being overwhelmed. And he just should not have enough at this point. Unfortunately, this was basically a build order loss. It did feel that way. As every SCV goes down. And even then... Quanta just cannot hold on, losing every single SCV and Marine as well. Reinforcements on the way. Quanta's got some Kobe. Now the problem here is that Quanta doesn't even have mules. SC2 Terran is broken, but he can just mule it up. Ay. Quanta making 1 SCV at a time. Is barely holding on. Gets her first shot off as well. Man with gun. Broken, pappy. as Satoru, he will be able to break through. Again, he has already broken the back of Quanta. It was a valiant effort here. GG gets called, and Satoru will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Satoru will take a lead here in the series, but again, a lot of it did come down to the build itself. Remember, Quanta did go CC first, into follow-up 3 racks, of course. Because of that, that's why he was just behind in production, behind in the marine counts, and it was just so difficult there to be able to survive, hold on, and yeah, try to overcome that deficit that he had. It was still a very nice defense out of Quanta. Like I should say, still a very valiant fight that he did have, and he was able to trade as best he could, but was overwhelmed in the end. It was just too much to fight against. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into the second game. Just catching up. That was certainly one of the all-ins of all time. It was beautiful. What do you mean? What do you mean? Just catching up. So really, how does one become a VIP with Light? Or is Light the VIP? Of what organization are they the VIP of? Esther. Who is Duddles? Who is Duddles? That is the real question. Good to see you, Duddles. Good to see you. Oh my god, it's always a rare sight. Always happy to see you whenever you drop by. Every now and then, we get a nice glimpse of the Duddles. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying life, and you know, maybe we'll see you once again take part in some StarCraft. I do appreciate it whenever you drop by. Always appreciate it. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. That was a big part of the history of StarCraft. I can't wait for Zombie to interview you. It's gonna happen. Kappa. Big part of StarCraft. Here we go. As we're getting into our next game and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Citadel, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran player. The red Terran, it is Satoru. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player representing Streamer Zone down in the series. Looking to bounce back, looking to actually macro and get into his natural base expansion. Going for the CC first once again, it is a Quanta. Here we go, and this time Quanta should get away with this. Likewise, I almost said the SEC. Satoru is doing the same. CC first from both players. The reason for this, the reason why you can be greedy, you can cut corners, is because welcome to a 4-player spawn map. For all everyone knows, their opponent could be top left, bottom right, top right. It could be in any location. The likelihood of cheese, likelihood of a proxy is very low, just because it takes that much longer. I mean, you gamble that much harder because you don't know where your proxy is in relation to where your opponent is, so it can be really difficult to commit that hard. So both players, they throw caution to the wind to CC first. So economic openers, and this can lead into a more standard game. Quanta going CC first into his 3-rack setup, into his bio, of course. Likewise, Quanta still yet to confirm if he's going to be going into bio or mech. Sorry, Satoru, I meant to say. Still don't know if he's going to bio or mech. We'll see. See how this all does come together. SCV scout towards bottom right. So Quanta is looking for his opponent. Likewise, we do see the SV going for the cross spawn location. Oh, never mind. Goes to the center and then does deviate towards the right as well. So both players checking bottom right. Both SCVs, they will come across each other.
SCV good to go, sir.
And they'll try to piece it all together. Also, as we get into this, a big shout out to Jojo in the chat. Oh my god. I forgot the name of his stand. I apologize. What is it? Stardust Breaker? Add it. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime for the first time. Papi God. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Thank you. Thank you. Always appreciate it. As we're settling in. What's his name? That's true. There are like 6 of them. No, I was thinking, what is it? Platinum Star. That's what I was thinking of, right? Platinum Star? Is that... I'm talking about... Am I thinking of Gen 3? The young JoJo. Gen 4? That's it. Star... There you go. Platinum Star. I got there in the end. God. JoJo's one of those... it's one of those shows that I want to get into one day, but it is quite daunting, right? Like, there's a lot... There's a lot there. And it's not the most cohesive. But I'm sure a lot of fun. Star Platinum. They're all true. They are all young. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Meanwhile, here we go. Quantum moving out with his initial 3-axe. Stim is done. Oh no, sorry. Stim just now finishing. Does rock up, but now there's a bunker. There's 2 cyclones. Nice kiting here from Satoru. Takes down 2 marines. Will delay. Oh! Does delay the push. Does deflect. Behind this, building up, committing a little bit harder here to cyclone production. Interesting. So 2 more cyclones on the way. Does he keep going? Do we see 6? Do we get up to 8? Do we not stop? Oh! Once again, nice kiting. 2 more marines go down. Just getting free damage, free units. 3rd CC on the way. Yo, I'm feeling a 2nd factory. I'm feeling it. We'll see. No, sorry. Did add-on swap. Yeah, never mind. He did go for the add-on swap. Okay, reactor marine production. Biotank, not mech. Okay, we have confirmation. Biotank from our Red Terran. Picking up more marines. Quanta getting his own 3rd CC on location. Committing into mass marine production. But breaking this position is going to be quite difficult, as we're seeing here. How many marines have we bled out? 9! 9 marines going down. Oh, I spoke too soon. I saw reacted marine production. I was like, oh, he's making bio. He literally made 2 marines. He made 2 extra marines. And then he lifts. Factories on the way. It's mech. If you're out there, Boanan, I know you were joking about making dinner like too early, but you know, it might be wise to look into it, because there's a 3rd factory on the way. We could be here for a while. We could be here. Oh no. Not like this. Nice pick off though. Cyclone goes down. Oh! Picks up a cyclone. Really, it's going to come down to Quanta. It's going to be on Quanta to try to break the position here and try to, not even just break, even contain, right? Containing the Terran onto 2 bases while Quanta gets a 3rd and 4th would be ideal. Liberator across the map, denying so much mining time. 0 mining whatsoever here at the natural, actually. Oh my god. 0 out of 16. I mean, with purely marine, there's really not much that can be done here. Starport is on the way, but again, without the starport, there's no answer. There's no answer to lib. Liberators, they're broken up. Dust him in. Oh, okay, he was within range. Whew. He was within range. Takes down the Liberator. Meanwhile, 2nd lib on the way, and Satoru, he goes for the proxy across the map. He's got his 3rd base. Is being landed. Is getting his 4th on location. A ninja base. He's going for a ninja expansion at the same time. Now, what's terrifying about this is that typically when it comes to bio versus mech, the bio player has map control and has a greater economy. But with this ninja base, if Satoru can take that worker lead, that economic advantage away from the bio player, that can be terrifying. That can be terrifying. Liberator does pick up a couple of workers. Marines push in. Massive tank load is going up. And the 3rd base, it's getting up. Quanto wasn't quite in a position to delay. Getting into his own tanks. And I am concerned that our red meching player here is getting out of hand. The 3rd base getting fortified. 4th base uncontested. Liberator harass continues. Wraith has arrived and we'll clean this up, but that's still 3 SCV kills. Quanta does skirt around the edge. There is no sensor tower covering this area. Liberator does spots. Main base is exposed. The Marines have potential. Unloaded. Quanta stemming in. Delay some of the production and will shut down Hurricane Engines. Not bad. Hurricane Engines is denied. But we're just max expanding. Fourth base is getting up. Fifth CC on the way. The fifth should be denied though. Quanta getting in position, does rotate. And will at least deny this expansion. Oh, never mind. Stimming in. Going for the natural. Ooh, and the meching player is out of position. The tanks, they're at the third, not at the natural base. SCVs are going down. Hellbats morph in. There's going to be two tanks in position. The Hellbats, they will clean this up. Yeah, massive tank blow is going up. Does get 18 SCVs though. 18 SCVs go down. Drop gets denied. Satoru will defend, but he lost an entire mineral line. And he might be forced to cancel. He might not care. Nah, he doesn't care, Pappy. There we go. Does save the base, sending everything across the map. And how much does he have? He's got 11 tanks, 1 Liberator, only a handful of Hellions, so he doesn't have much support with this army. Doesn't have much support. Pushing in. This area is quite wide open. Quanta setting up. Tank blow is going up. Quanta does shoot first. The tanks are pushing forward. They're gaining ground. Oof. Marines are cleaned up. Yo, we have the one Wraith! The one Wraith! Let's go! No anti-air! Nothing shoots up. And Quanta's holding. Quanta, the MVP, he holds! Across the map, drop comes in. Forces a cancel. Yeah, there we go. Does force a cancel. The one Wraith. Now, this is good. I mean, Quanta denies what he thinks is the fourth, if only he knew, right? If only he knew about bottom right. More SCVs going down. Getting 4 SCVs, denying mining time, getting a mule. If the drop does skirt around the edge, then Quanta might just stumble upon this base, but so far, has been unable to do so. He scans, looking for another expansion. Quanta is looking. Getting another tank. Gets one. Back into the mineral line. So many SCVs. Oh my god. 4 more SCVs. Okay, not too much more. We can see now Satoru has some anti-air, Viking production, and some cyclones. Dropship goes down. Massive pickup. Ooh, and here comes the second wave. That's a lot of tanks. Remember this, when it came to the first push, most of the tanks survived because Satoru, he just pulled back home. And that means the second wave is going to hit that much harder. It's going to be how many tanks? 11. 11 tanks once again. Ghosts have arrived. Remember, they can lock down some of these tanks. They can disable, essentially. Hellion Rumbai denies the fourth. With some solid ghost control, Quanta can take the fight. Let's push forward. Chasing the army, trying to catch him unsieged. Oh, does push in. Yeah, there's the disables. Does disable most of the tanks, if not all of the tanks. Oh, there's 2 tanks left. And it looks like Quanta, he will completely shut this down. Oh my god. Mate, you thought Ravens could disable? No. The ghost lockdown. Crazy. Locks down almost every single tank, cleans up the army. And Quanta can keep pushing. Mate, Ravens ain't got nothing on the Broodwall Ghost spot. Let's go. As he pushes in, gets another lockdown, breaks through, there's 1 tank left. And it looks like the third base is going to be broken. Despite the ninja, doesn't matter. Quanta did well, denying the 5th base, getting into mineral lines, killing so many SCVs. I mean, 29 SCVs fell throughout the course of this game, gets a snipe on the CC. He's scanning, and this game may just end without Quanta ever seeing this base. Without him seeing bottom right. It's not gonna happen. Oof, gets another disable. Forcing his way into the siege line. Even disabling the Vikings, why not? Disables everything. That might have been a waste. There's still a couple of tanks left over. Ooh. Tank shots are going to be brutal, but alas, the Bio Army still barely breaks through. Gassy, though, just barely. He's trying. The repairs are too good. Quanta barely doesn't have enough. Again, I do think he was a little bit wasteful earlier by disabling the Vikings. If he didn't, he would have had enough disables for these tanks as well. That would have been game. But instead, Quanta just rotates. And behind this, he's on a 4-base economy. He's fine. He's on 4 bases. Takes down another expansion. Quanta still has plenty of momentum as he's looking to force that ace match. Satoru, he's still taking more bases, but so is Quanta, getting his 5th. Hellion Robot steps in. Lockdown takes forever. I see in the chat, not just Lockdown, in general, if you've been watching some StarCraft Evolution, Brood War spells, I'm talking about Lockdown, I'm talking about, oh god, not just Plague, Dark Shroud, that's it. Sorry, Dark Swarm, not Dark Shroud. Dark Swarm, Plague, Lockdown, and Snare as well. Most, if not all, the Brood War spells last so long. They last insane. It's crazy. Like, the duration of almost every Brood War spell is insane. I think one that's shorter is Storm. The Brood War Storm is comparable to the Storm of the SE2 Storm. But like when it comes to the other spells, it's crazy. There's another that I'm thinking of from the Science Vessel. I think of Radiate. Maybe it's got another word. Irradiate, that's it. I got there. But Irradiate as well. Like they last so long. And fun fact, in Brood War itself, I believe most of them last longer. I believe they were reduced in SE Evo, but they still last a long time. It's crazy. Meanwhile, despite being on 2 bases, that's a lot of tanks. Because it's not really 2 bases, it's a 3-base economy, right? Because of the ninja base, Satoru, he's actually built up quite an army. Meanwhile, Quanta finally finds the expansions. He is now aware. But the army supplies are neck and neck. The power of the ninja base. Satoru, he can still take this. It can still be a 2-0. He's pushing out. Ooh, now this time with Mass Hellion to buffer. Quanta does have to retreat. He has to respect the tank line. That's a lot of tanks. Despite how amazing those lockdowns are, that's still a massive tank line that Quanta has to deal with. Sables the libs. We'll slowly pick them up. Oh my god. That was what, 4 ghosts going down, and the Liberator survives. Quanta has to pull away. Finally, the ninja base is going to be locked down. It's going to be cleaned up. But it has kept Satoru in this game. He's still in this because of that ninja. We'll float away. Unironically, SE Evo lockdown is shorter than Brood. Yeah, that's what I was getting into. Not just lockdown, but I believe like Dark Swarm and Plague as well. Like I'm pretty sure most, if not all, of the Brood War spells were reduced in SE Evo, but they still last a long time. And here we go. The Hellions try to break through. The lockdowns are coming in. He gets 2, he gets 3. Oh, he managed to catch 5 of those lockdowns, but it's not going to be enough. Satoru, he holds his own, he holds his ground. But remember, because of the death of the ninja base, Quanta can afford these trades. He doesn't have to kill his opponent, just has to trade. Just has to trade out and replenish his army with the greater economy. Quanta, he can do this all day. Satoru cannot. Satoru, he's running out of steam. Running out of resources. He's got 2 patches left at the natural. Trying to break out. And GG gets called. He cannot break out. Quanta ties it up, and we are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Let's go. A very, very intense game, too. Very intense. Again, able to showcase some of the power here of bio tank play, specifically of Ghost, of course. I mean, in a way, it's kind of similar in SE2, where in StarCraft 2 TVT, Raven versus Raven is kind of where things lead in the late game, specifically. Not too early on, but I mean, even early on, like a triple Raven opener is quite standard as well, because of the power of Disable. And with that, we're going all the way to the ace match. And as a reminder, Game 3 is going to be on Monty Hall. Now, we've seen nothing but cheese on Monty Hall. Do we see that again here, or do we see something more macro-oriented? I don't think we've actually seen a proper macro game on this map, I'll be honest. I don't think we've seen it. It's always like a cheese or a proxy of some kind, whether it's 1 base or 2 base all in. Here we go. So we're getting into the ace match. Haven't been seeing many Firebats. We do see Firebats specifically in TVZ. Unfortunately, there weren't many Zerg players in this bracket. In the qualifier, there just wasn't much Zerg representation. But in that matchup is where you see more Firebat play. So we most likely won't see it today, unfortunately. But we should see it in the main event. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Monty Hall, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Brood War Terran. It is Satoru. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Streamer Zone. It is Quanta. Just need a moment to set up the... player here. Bam, there we go. We're going to be settling to that TVT. And interesting, it is going to be a CC first. CC first out of our Brood War Terran player. StarCraft 2 Terran going double gas. Double gas opener. What does this mean? This means faster factory. It means a Rax into factory into a delayed CC. And this could also lead into a 1 base all in. Could lead. My eyes are going to be on this SCV. Do we move out and do we proxy a factory? Do we proxy a starport? Do we proxy at all? Or do we just expand? As the SCV is moving out right through the center. Likewise, so is the SCV of Satoru as well. Both workers, they do walk past. It's going to be CC first into triple Rax. So very economic start here from the Red Terran player, and Quanta should be able to confirm. There's that factory on the way that we didn't mention. Interesting, going for a very fast tech lab. The fast tech lab is, I want to say 1 base all in here. I mean, this can be for fast concussive shell, could be for an add-on swap here for fast tank production. I'm curious what is going to be done exactly here with this tech lab, as the SCV gets eyes on the 3-Rax that's on the way. And there's the add-on swap. Okay. Going for the 1-1-1. No expansion. Wait, what? Wait. What? Wait, did the Terran player, no, he didn't scout. Wait, what's going on? wait, what's happening? So we're going for the 1-1-1. We're not actually using the tech lab. Are we going for Banshee? This is not the most efficient start here from Quanta. We could have gone here a little bit cleaner, I will say, but yeah, there we go. Add-on swap, and we're going for Banshee production into 1 base BC. Let's go. God, what are we watching right now? So we don't see 1 base BC too often in TVT, but bold move. Now he is expanding. The CC is spotted by the scout. So Satoru, he has gotten eyes on the expansion. But more importantly, he knows how late it is. He knows how late the command center is. Now, this is also why this is really kind of weird and inefficient. The tech lab was too soon. It was made too quickly here. The SCV comes in for a follow-up scout, and oh my god, he sees everything! He confirms the lack of production. He confirms that the fusion core is on the way as well. He knows. And all we need back at home, we need to set up some turrets, more Marines, of course, and just get ready to receive the first battlecruiser. Ready to receive. He scans to confirm. I believe this is fake cloak. I don't think this should be real. And the problem is that I don't think there's even a reason to fake it because, I mean, Satoru, he already saw the fusion core. Like, he has confirmation for the most part. So I appreciate that he's trying to fake out Banshee play, but again, the Red Terran has seen everything he needs to. So we're kind of stumbling into our build here. We're getting there. Meanwhile, 3 CC setup out of our Red Terran. Jesus, very greedy. Rushing to a fast third. We'll see if we can get away with it. eBay is done. Marines are amassing. No turrets yet, bear that in mind. I wouldn't be opposed to it, especially considering just how ahead the Red Terran is economically. He's up 10 SCV, so I feel like you can afford something like that. I feel like it is a little bit greedy to try to skip out on that, to have like an anchor point to your army. And the first battlecruiser is done, and teleports into the natural. Alright, handful of Marines, they do stim in. So far, I believe 1 SCV, 2 SCVs now. 2 SCVs go down. Marines are getting picked up. And I mentioned earlier, there is no anchor point, there is no turret here. Marines, reinforcements, they do come in from the main. It's gonna be 4 or 5 SCVs. Five SCV kills so far. I mean, pretty good value for the first battlecruiser, not gonna lie. Like, the BC still has plenty of HP. Forces out a scan. Gets another worker. Getting another Marine. Oh, the BC has to be careful. There we go, Hellies. Oh my god, they come in to reinforce. They eviscerate the Marines. They get roasted. The Marines go down. It looks like Quanta's done it. He has done it. Oh my god. There was no bunker set up, no turret set up. The Hellions, they go to town. Oh my god. And Quanta, can he do it? Can he break through? It's gonna be close. Oh my god, the BC lives. The BC barely survives on 60 HP, 14 SCV kills. And he just keeps rallying across. Just rallies across all the Hellions he can. Again, despite the scout, oh wait, he gets the BC. Oh my god. Does get the battlecruiser. Takes out all the Hellions. We'll lose 15 SCVs. Okay, we have to take stock. 3 CC, but here comes the second battlecruiser. Oh my god. The second BC has arrived. Chasing down the medics, chasing down the Marines, came with the production. More Hellions hit the natural. Oh, they're wasting some of their DPS though. Wasting some of their shots. Just going for the comsat station. Yeah, we do see Satoru's trying to scan, trying to figure out what's going on. Now behind the worker counts. With 3 CC, you could argue that maybe the Red Terran can recover. But those were brutal losses. 23 SCV kills and 33 Marines as well. Aye. And again, he did for the most part scout the builds, but it did feel like he underreacted. Maybe not really thinking or not really respecting it as much as he should have. I mean, I wasn't, right? Like, I didn't expect it to do anywhere near as much damage. Things very quickly escalated out of control. It wasn't really the BC too much. The BC was the setup, but the Hellion reinforcements were crazy. Like the Marines, they were all stacked up. They all lined up. The Hellion support has been insane, and the Hellions, they've been popping up. Like, I feel like the BCs, they're flashy and they're kind of what we're all noticing, but I feel like the Hellion support is really what's been carrying this for Quanta. Aye. Satoru, he does get in position. Keeps tabs on the Hellions, zones them away. Oh. Quanta does attempt to kite back. Nice spread here from Satoru. Does spread out the Marines. BCs, they come back in for a backstab, catching reinforcements. Satoru, he does commit across the map. Oh my god. Some Marines do line up. Medic falls. As more Hellions are amassing. Quanta, he does have to slow this down. Oh, the pre-split. The pre-split. There's a tank in position. Massive tank shots going off. BC has arrived to defend. Poison being pulled. The tank goes down. Nice kiting here from the Red Terran. But they're running out of steam. They're running out of Marines. And again, the BCs were catching reinforcements. Oh my god, they killed the natural. They killed the natural base. They're going for the third. They're forcing the all-in. BC's pulling away. Taking down so many Marines as well. So many Marines go down. Blue Flame kicks in. GG gets called. And Quanta, he does it with a crazy build. They got scattered as well. But he pulls it off. Takes series 2-1. Will qualify for StarCraft Evolution Fall Championship 2024. GG. GG. Oh my god. He's crazy. One base BC did eventually expand, did eventually take another base behind it, but it wasn't just BCs. Remember, he was reinforcing with reactor factory helium production, and there was that first big moment as well where the Marines were lined up, where they stacked up and the Hellions went to town. They roasted up the Marines, and in the end, Quanta was able to overwhelm. Congratulations here to Quanta, as he will make it to the main event. And now it is time to head on over to the American server and to feature more than just some Korean StarCraft, but some European StarCraft as well. Let's go. I believe it is time for a ZVP. I believe. Yes, it is time for a ZVP. It's going to be a best of 3 qualifying match between Boanan and Rumieth. Oh boy. Rumieth is a Korean Zerg player. Boanan, of course, the Protoss from the Netherlands. They are going to be facing off in a best of 3. And I'm sure it's going to be a short one. I'm just... Ay. Oh no. They've been waiting years for this series. Waiting years. And it's going to be over in 5 minutes. Boanan, of course, he's known for one thing and one thing only. He's known for cannon rushing. He is known for cannon rushing. And even if you know it's coming, that doesn't mean you can stop it. Doesn't mean you can do anything about it. He's one of the best. I say one of the best because there's a lot of like known cannon rushers out there. Like Boanan, like Turkey Dano, for example. Probe Scouts. Printf. Ay. But we'll see. We'll see how this series does pan out. As we have 2 best of 3s remaining. Oh god, what have I done? That's not... God damn it. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, we have 2 best of 3s remaining. It looks like the lobby has been set, and we are jumping in. We are going to be jumping into game 1. Going to be on Alkione. I'm ready for the cannons, Papi. I'm ready. Let's go. I hope Boanan will not cannon rush. Oh no. So I'm just catching up with the chat. That was like Plat versus GM. That was GM versus GM. That's what that was. Give more credit to GM players. Ay. Here we go. And if you're in the chats, you know what time it is. It's Gamba time, Papi. It is time to get your Gamba going. Predictions are now open in the chat. Place your bets on who you think will take the series as we load into game number 1. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkione, we have the blue Zerg player, the SC2 Zerg from South Korea. It is Rumieth. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, it is the cannon rusher himself. It is the orange Protoss player from the Netherlands. It is Boanan. The pylon has been placed on the... Mate, is he going for a gate expand? Is he not going for the forge? There's no probe. Oh, he's crazy. Let's go. Standard? Is he macroing? I'll be honest, I've never casted Boanan not go for the forge. It's never happened. It has never happened. I'm ready for it. Rumieth, he's going pool first. And it is going to be a forge. Okay, but bear this in mind. This is a macro cannon rush. This is not committed. This is not your typical forge first. This is a gate forge into a nexus. Now, the purpose of this opener is to cannon rush the natural and to delay the expansion. That's it. That's going to be the goal here for Boanan. But he scouts. Remember, pool first. The reason why it's a pool first is very uncommon in this matchup, but Boanan has a reputation, and Rumieth is aware of that. Rumieth is aware with the pull first, faster link production, faster queen production as well. The forge does finish, and we have to set up a wall and some cannons back at home instead. So, based off of the openers, I do favor the Zerg player here because of the pull first, despite the forge, despite the setup for the cannon rush, does not happen. Does not happen in the end. Now, this setup here from Boanan typically is a cannon rush into Skytoss, because the Cybercore is delayed. Usually it goes into a Stargate, into a cannon, shield battery, into Skytoss, but this is Brood War Protoss we're talking about, and unlike SE2, oh, he's still going for it, by the way. But unlike in SE2, you don't have that kind of like stepping stone of going into Void Ray, then into Skytoss, right? So I'm curious how Boanan approaches this. The boys are being pulled, the pylon gets thrown down. Boanan is setting up for his cannon rush, but the Lings are already here. The Lings are here, the Queen waddles down as well. I don't really see this working anywhere near as well. Like, this is a pretty big investment by Boanan, and it's too late. Can he protect the cannon? Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. The cannon's... Oh, God. Yeah, cannon is canceled. The probe goes down, the pylon as well. And this didn't really achieve much. You could argue that this forced out Lings, but, I mean, not that many. It's what, 6? Yeah, 6 Lings only for Rumieth. Boanan, he lost 2 pylons and a probe, which is a pretty big investment. Now Lings are moving out with map control, and now Boanan has to try to transition out of this. Yo, he's rushing. That's crazy. He's rushing into a third. I don't know if he can hold on to this. That's a bold move. Is rushing to the third base. Lings are soon to arrive to get eyes on this as well. They will scout. They will confirm. And there we go. 6 more Lings on the way. As soon as Rumieth sees the third, he makes a surge of Lings. Like, I don't see how Boanan can hold this. That's a kill, not a cancel. Shield battery goes down. And sure, the Dragoon count is building up, but really Rumieth, he's waiting for Ling speed. Ling speed is almost done, and he's building up more Lings. And again, the purpose of all these Lings is to deny the third. Is to punish the greed of Boanan. Because what does he have? He has one gate. He has one gateway. He can make 1 Dragoon at a time. There's no world where he actually holds on to this third. No shot. We'll see. We'll see if he can. Lings have made it. They go for the shield battery. And Dragoons, yeah, they cannot save this. They cannot save this. The third base, it is going to be cancelled. Overlord Scouts confirms there's nothing else going on. It's going to be a Citadel follow-up here. Meanwhile, Spire is on the way for meter production. There's no cannon. There's no cannon set up, which means the Dragoon, it's going to go down. Oh, it's going to be close. The Dragoon's actually quite tanky. Jesus. the Dragoon takes a lot of hits. Okay, nice defense. That was a lot of Lings thrown away. That's 9 Lings down the drain. But all that Rumieth wanted was to deny the expansion. That's all he wanted. Taking his own third. Now, Rumieth's third base is delayed. True. This is a late third base for the Zerg. Bear that in mind as well. As the Spire is almost done. Shout out to Shiva Blaster in the chat. Papi, thank you so much for subscribing for 35 months in a row. That's a lot of months. That's almost 3 years of support. Thank you, Shiva Blaster. Thank you. We do appreciate the support. Always, always. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Whether it's SE2 or SE Evo, as Lings have arrived, they take down the first Dragoon. They're going for the second. I don't think they can get it though. Yeah, Zealots, they come in to reinforce. Shield battery is cancelled. And this was not the best commitment here from Rumieth. He bleeds out a lot of Lings. But now here come the mutas. That's what this comes down to, the muta production. Mutas are on the way. Oh, he wants to Dragoon. He gets it. Dragoon goes down. Dragoon does fall. We have some DTs on the way to try to counterattack. And how many mutas does... Oh, only 4. Uh-oh. Only 4 mutas. Rumiath, his own economy has been lackluster here. So can't afford too much. He does dive on the cannon there. The GG gets called. Mutas get revealed. And Rumiath will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A rough start for Boanan. Remember, winding it back, he did go for a quote-unquote macro cannon rush, going Gate Forge into Nexus. Unfortunately, Rumiath had already gone pool first, so he was playing very safe, just went pool first, means early Lings, early Queens. Despite that, Boanan went for a delayed cannon rush at the natural, which wasn't worth it. It was not worth it in the end. He threw away a lot of resources to do so. Likewise, as a follow-up, Boanan, he was crazy. He rushed into a 3rd Nexus where there was no chance of holding on to it. It was very risky, very greedy. I think the hope there for Boanan was if his opponent didn't scout, if his opponent did not check that 3rd location, he would have gotten away with murder. But that's a big if, right? You're relying on your opponent making mistakes. So that's that was kind of the position of Boanan, hoping that that Rumiath would not scout and would not check the 3rd. Unfortunately, he did, and was able to punish it in the end. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. Getting into game 2. Here we go. Always ah. I've literally seen him not cannon. I mean, I guess he still did. he shouldn't have, but he still did attempt to cannon there. True. Technically did cannon rush. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Citadel. We have the orange Protoss player from the Netherlands, the cannon rusher himself, stumbling a little bit in game 1, but we'll see if he can recover here in game 2. It is Boanan. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Leading the series 1-0, the brutal Zerg player, it is Rumiath. And Boanan, he's scouting, he's looking for the expansion here of Rumiath, bearing in mind this is a 4-player map, so Boanan does not know where to cannon rush. And once again, it looks like a macro cannon rush. He sends out 2 probes, it is going to be a gate into a forge, into a more delayed cannon rush to try and deny the expansion. But Rumiath, pool first. Once again, pool first opener out of the Zerg player to be safe. Now the forge gets placed, Boanan does scouts, and here comes the cannon rush. The cannon rush is being set up. The Overlord is a little bit out of position, but the drone moves down, and Rumiath he sees. He does spot the cannon rush, he does respond. A couple of boys have arrived to try and delay the cannon. And remember, this is designed to just deny the expansion. That's the goal. That is the goal here for Boanan. But so far, nice reaction from the Zerg. Lings are on the way. Cannon gets placed. It's going to be the one cannon here in the center. Second probe has arrived. He's walling up. Is walling off. The boys are being pulled. Oh, and can Rumiath stop this? The one center cannon should finish. Lings have arrived. They're going to go straight for the cannon, though. It's going to take a lot of hits. It's going to go down. Yeah, the cannon is going to go down. The power of the Lings, the power of the bull first. The cannon does fall. And with that, Rumiath holds. Rumiath, he holds, he goes back to mining, and that was 300 minerals. That's 3 pylons invested. Not just 3 pylons, 1 cannon, 2 probes. GG gets called, and Rumiath will take the series 2-0, qualifying for SEL Fall Championship. GG. GG, well played, Rumieth. He will take the series. My condolences to Boanan. Again, that map as well isn't really too conducive for something like cannon rushing, just because of the base locations, of course, just because of it takes a little bit longer to really set up. It takes a little bit longer to scout your opponent, of course, as well. Oh, GG, well played. And with that, Rumieth qualifies. Rumieth does qualify. My condolences to Boanan. Unfortunately, there's only one qualifier, but what I will say is that depending on your placements in the SEL bi-weekly tournaments, you can, of course, be invited, or even outside of that, just regular invites as well, at the behest of Hyper One, may opt to invite you regardless. So there is still a chance that we might see some Boanan action in the main event. It is still possible. I'm hoping we do. Boanan is a very fun player to cast, and even though some of these cannon rushes were a little bit lackluster in these initial maps, I mean, likewise, there was no veto process either. That's going to be held, and that's going to be saved for the main event itself. We can end up picking and choosing maps that are a little bit more favored towards that kind of style. Again, maps do play a big part when it comes to cannon rushes. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting ready for the final series. The final qualifying match. Let's go. Is there a loser's bracket? There is not. Single elimination. Single elimination. One chance, one shot, one opportunity. As I'm need to make sure I don't get left behind. My apologies. We're heading over to the Korean server for the final PvP. I'm on my way. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, we have our final qualifying match. It's going to be a PvP between Rebellion and Ateshi. Oh boy. Now, coming into the series, I do favor Rebellion. I do rate him quite highly here, but Ateshi did surprise us. As a reminder, at the start of the broadcast, Ateshi took down Luna C 2-1 to go to the ace match, but Ateshi did take it in the end, had a very impressive result against Luna C. Very impressive upset from Ateshi. Can he cause another upset as well? Can he cause another? We're here to find out. You're here to find out. Sorry, I'm new here. Is there any difference between Brutal and SC2 or just skins? They are basically entirely different races. There's a big difference. They're similar. I mean, there are some similarities, I guess, but I would say because of how starkly different they are, I would say they're similar only in name. That's it, really. There's a lot to get into, but regardless, we're jumping into our final series of the night. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkione, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the pink Protoss, SC2 Protoss. It is Ateshi. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Brutal Protoss. It is Rebellion. And if you're in the chats, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. And I think the best way to actually see the difference between two races is the mirror matchup. I think that's probably the best way. We already saw the PvP earlier, but there's just such a different dynamic between them. The Brutal Protoss race is a lot more immobile. The reason for this is, one, there's no recall, two, there's no Blink Stalkers. Without Blink Stalkers, without recall, it is a little bit more difficult. If your opponent is hyper aggressive, they can pull you apart. It can be more difficult to keep up if your opponent has map control and has momentum. But we'll see what direction our players do take us in. As initially it's going to be a 2-gate opener for Rebellion, likewise 2 gateways for Ateshi as well. So far, so good. Both players just trying to get a read on each other's pylon production or pylon placements. Make sure there's no proxy. There is no setup. as the second pylons are scattered, are confirmed. Upon seeing this, I mean, they should be aware there's no proxy Robo, there's no proxy Stargate. Nothing wild yet. Oh, ooh, nice pickup. A Zealot has arrived. Probe goes down. Ateshi's now in the dark. But Rebellion will expand. Okay, so he's setting up to expand, opening up a double Dragoon. Meanwhile, Ateshi opening up double Stalker. Does open up double Stalker. We see Rebellion rushing into Dragoon range, so far committing into Dragoon production. Meanwhile, we do see Ateshi opening up Robo, not Twilight Council. Now this should be for Immortal production. Very safe way to play here in PvP. Assuming he doesn't throw down extra gateways and go for a 1-base all-in, which is still on the table. He could just throw down a 3rd and 4th gateway, go for a Warp Prism into Immortal, and just commit. We're not out of the woods yet. Rebellion has expanded, going for his natural. And, okay, we are not throwing down extra gateways. Ateshi is expanding. Okay, we have confirmation, and so does Rebellion. He dips in, he scouts, he confirms the Nexus. So Rebellion, he can rest easy. Does poke in, using the Zealot to tank some shots. We'll pull away. Oh! We'll get a bit of hull damage done on some of these Stalkers. Does nibble away at them. Oh, nice pickoffs here from Rebellion. Doesn't get any kills, but he does soften up the Stalkers. Will pull back for now, waiting for Dragoon range to finish. And he does throw down extra gateways. Again, for now, committing to Mass Dragoon. Meanwhile, we spoke about the Robo opener for Ateshi, and it's for the Immortal. So it is Immortal first. We see that, at least, especially with range, Dragoons, they can try to bully these Stalkers, but with the help of the Immortal, we can tank some shots, we can shut down the Dragoons a little bit harder, a little bit faster. Ooh, Dragoon goes down. And we do have that Sentry follow-up. Now, if you were here at the start of the broadcast, if you were here for the previous PvP, you'd know how powerful Sentries are in the StarCraft 2 versus Brood War matchup. Again, as you mentioned before, without Blink, Sentries and Force Fields, they completely slice up a Dragoon army. It's insane. And that's why we're warping in additional Sentries. Now, at the time, we were theorizing like a way to counter that, because Ateshi basically went for not a pure Sentry army, but like half the gateway units were Sentries in the mid-game, with just purely Force Fields just kind of dominating the fights. And we were theorizing, oh, maybe it's worth for the Brood War Protoss to invest into Archons to be able to break the Force Fields. But we can see that instead we're taking towards Reavers. The Bay is on the way, Shuttle as well. We are working towards Reaver drops. Meanwhile, Ateshi building up his Immortal Stalker army. War Prism's on the way. And there's that shuttle speed as well. So again, Reaver drops are on the horizon. Bearing in mind, though, that of course, once the Pink Protoss player gets into a more mobile army, they can also try to shut that down. Oh no! Feels bad, man. As Rebellion, he maintains control of the center of the map, forcing back Ateshi. Catching the first Immortal. Ooh, massive pickup! No! The Immortal and the War Prism go down. Massive pickups here for Rebellion. And Ateshi will lose map control, has to pull back, has to pull away. The Reavers are coming. About to pop out. He can reinforce the main army, 3rd base being taken as well, and Ateshi has to back off. And you can see, again, he's committing to a heavy Sentry-based army, which can work well, but after losing the Prism and the Immortal, he's stuck at home. More Sentries, let's go. More Force Fields. Reavers moving out. And Ateshi's moving in. Now his move out is spotted by the probe. Rebellion is aware. Getting in position. The Reaver will not be at home to defend. Bear that in mind. It's moving out to harass. Which means Ateshi, he might be able to break this 3rd. Not just the 3rd, but break the natural. As he has not expanded. Yeah, 2 base all in from Ateshi. Only with 1 Immortal though. Imagine this army with 2 Immortals. Does Force Field, does lock down the Dragoons. Oof. Yeah, 4 Dragoons get locked down. Meanwhile, Reaver across the map gets 6 probe kills, nice damage. But again, this is the power of the force field. Is pushing in still, decent chunk of Dragoons. Oh! 2 more get locked down. But again, with 1 more Immortal, this could have been so much more potent. As he's slowly pushing forward, gaining more ground. Rebellion pulling back to his natural. Oof. Another Dragoon gets caught, but we're running out of force fields. You could argue that was a little bit wasteful. Yeah, Deshi running out of force fields. Dragoons, they come in from behind. Going for the War Prism. And where are the reinforcements? Ateshi, he has a bank. He has 800, 900 minerals. But where the warp ins? Boys are being pulled, and Rebellion, he holds. He holds, he shuts down the army, forces the recall. And what is that hurting to defend? Remember, probes are going down earlier because of the Reaver. Rebellion, he may have lost his natural base, but Rebellion, he still has a worker lead. He's ahead. Rebellion has a better economy. He has a larger army. And Ateshi was all in. Ateshi was completely all in. Now he has to expand, but he has a lot of recovering to do. He had a lot of probing. A lot of probing to do as he has to build up his worker count again. He has to rebuild his army. It was all or nothing for the Pink Protoss. And he was trading well. As we saw, like he was gaining ground. But without reinforcements, without his gas income, without his warp-ins, he ran out of steam. And now Rebellion should run away with this. Should be able to run away with this. There are ways to come back, definitely, when it comes to like a War Prism counterattack, or Dark Templar, or Disruptors. There are ways to come back, of course. But there's a lot of pressure on Ateshi. A lot of pressure. So he does rotate around. Rebellion, just establishing his third. Storm is on the way. Let's go. We'll be getting into some Archon production as well. Deshi dropping into the main. Going for some Adept Harass. Does warp in at the third as well, trying to distract and pull Rebellion apart. Probes are going to go down. Oh, but they're on A move. Okay, there we go. Does get 3 workers so far. Getting up to 4 probe kills, almost a High Templar. Oh, he wants it. Doesn't quite get it. Casito. Adepts, they do get 5, 6. Oh my god, 6 probes. 6 probes go down. Adepts, they keep going in. They keep getting more damage. And Rebellion's just going for a counterattack. He's had enough. He's had enough. Also, I apologize for some of the frame drops. The frames are dropping. Did notice. And Rebellion, he may be losing workers back at home, but he doesn't care. He's going for the all-in. Well, he's going for the kill. Takes down the third, and he can keep pushing. Can keep pushing. Backs off for now. Rotates. Looking for another way in. That's going to be 4 Immortals to defend. They're getting caught out. Oh my god, Reaver shots going off. And the Immortals are getting picked off. Massive connection here on the Zealots. And GG gets called. Rebellion will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. He will take the first game. Again, Ateshi, he was so committed with his... Again, it was basically a 2-base all-in with Mass Sentry, Stalker, Immortal. But remember, early on, I do think it was a pivotal moment when Ateshi lost his first Immortal and when he lost his first War Prism as well. Like those were some massive pickoffs when they went down in the center of the map. That delayed the push. That also did kind of soften or did hinder the push as well. It meant that there was not that much less firepower with the main army. And GG. GG, well played. Rebellion held. And now we're getting ready for game number 2. Game number 2. It's going to be on Citadel. The full player map. 4-player map. Let's go. Why can't they turn Disruptors into Reavers? I would imagine, like, real talk, I would imagine that the StarCraft 2 team most likely would want to avoid that sort of thing. I I'm referring to not just a Reaver, but like Reavers, Defilers, Goliaths. Like Terran players have been asking for Goliaths for so long as well. I feel like to keep the identity of StarCraft, I don't think they're too keen on like just removing like the Thor and replacing it with Goliaths, or removing the Disruptor and replacing it with Reavers, like, and just implementing Brood War units. I don't think that's necessarily something that they're too interested in. Even if you could like make an argument that that might be better, I feel like to keep the identity of SE2 separate from Brood War, I don't think that's something that they would budge on necessarily. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? As we're now getting into, or like replacing like the Cyclone with the Vulture or something like that. But we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Citadel, we have the pink Protoss player from South Korea. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Ateshi. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss from South Korea. Leading the series, it is Rebellion. Go. As once again we are loading into a 4-player spawn map. Also, I do apologize. I just realized that I did not change the nameplates of Ateshi in game, so I do apologize. I will fix that now for game 2. So that's my bad. That's my bad. There we go. As Ateshi does scout horizontally, does confirm the location of Rebellion. Ateshi is aware. Based on how fast the scout was, I think Rebellion can kind of piece together, can deduce where his opponent has spawned in, and there we go. The probe does move out, and he should be scouting on the right hand side. So Rebellion should soon confirm as well. As Rebellion does go for a gate expand, economic opener here from our red Protoss player. Likewise, same can be said for our pink Protoss as well. So both players open up economically, just gate expands. No crazy aggression this early on. Not yet. So both players being greedy makes sense on a large map like this. And we'll see where this takes us. We go. As Rebellion is working towards, once again, the similar builds. Once again, we have Rebellion playing Brood War and Ateshi playing SE2. So working towards those Dragoons. Yo, the way the Zealot walks feels so weird, because I don't know if you notice, whenever the Zealot walks, the side blades are on, like, their sheath. It just looks so weird. Like, ay. Feels brutal as Zealot, man. Like, he's just going for a stroll. But he's walking with purpose. There's just something about the Zealot walking around with like sheath blades. It's just odd. Regardless, Zealot does 4, gets 2 probe kills, not bad. Does get some economic damage. Just one of those little things that looks a bit odd. So do have our follow-up. This time, for the first time, we see Ateshi not going for a Robo, going for a Twilight Council instead. I imagine going for a Blink-based opener. Yep, there we go. Blink is on the way. Going for something more mobile instead. Going for Mass Blink Stalker. Meanwhile, from the side of Rebellion, interesting. Likewise, taking up a little bit faster here into a Forge for upgrades and into a Citadel of Adun. As Adept does shade in, just going to be one Adept. Ooh, does take down one Worker. But just the one. One probe goes down. With this, of course, we can unlock Charge. But likewise, Rebellion can also invest into a more heavy gateway composition. Speaking of Charge, yep, there it is. Charge is on the way. So we're going for a gateway army versus a gateway army. Dragoon Charge Lot versus Blink Stalker. Rebellion is moving out. Does waddle across. Sentries are ready, so is the shield battery. So far, Ateshi holding on. Ooh, takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. Bearing in mind, range for the Dragoon is done. And they do pick away the first shield battery. Uh-oh. So far, good control here by Rebellion. Poking in. Takes down the shield battery. Takes down a pylon as well. And Adeshi's just being bullied back. Waiting for Blink. Ooh. Does pick off one more sentry. Will maybe get a Dragoon. Oh, Dragoon goes down. And Adeshi holds. Adeshi does hold. Did lose a lot in the process, but nothing game-ending. Does survive. Blink is now finished. Now finishing up. And we can settle in. Again, just throwing down additional gateways. That's going to be a 6-gate setup here on 2 bases. That's a lot of gateways. Meanwhile, Rebellion working towards charge lots and Archons. As the Temple Archives is on the way. Going for a ninja expansion. Oh my god. Rebellion, calm down. I'm very concerned actually for Rebellion because we have more gates. Like, more gates are being thrown down. There's going to be a lot of Blink Stalkers, and Rebellion's being too greedy. Rebellion is taking into Storm or taking into High Templar. He's getting a 3rd base. He's not making Dragoons, and with that, he's being overwhelmed. That may just be game. The Stalkers, they blink in. They take down 2 more Dragoons. 1 barely escapes. And Rebellion's being caught with his pants down, just being far too greedy, taking up, expanding, not making units. If we had a War Prism, I do feel like Adeshi could actually break this position. But without a War Prism, you can see it takes a while for the reinforcements to arrive. So Rebellion, can he hold? Can he survive? It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy here. Cannons are denied. Zell's taking a lot of hits. Cool. Do you have a Dark Templar? No detection. No shot. The hero DT? He forces everything back. No detection. Observer's on the way. The Dark Templar. He holds. Oh my god. The hero DTs, which means Rebellion, he gets away with a 3rd. It's already done. Now he can start saturating. Adeshi's just now going to be expanding. DT's forcing this back. Now there is the Observer. Dark Templar gets eyes on the would-be 3rd. Rebellion is going to just be transferring over. Rallying across. TT still being kept in the back line. Has yet to pull the trigger. Whew, and we can take a moment. We can take a breath. We can calm things down. Again, Rebellion, he held. He can now saturate his 3rd base. He can now embrace Storm. +2 is on the way alongside Storm. Archons. Anything and everything. As the Dark Templar does reveal itself. Again, just keeping Ateshi busy. Is cleaned up. And unfortunately, Adeshi hasn't teched. He's still only going purely Blink Stalker. He has not teched into his own charge shots, his own Archons. He's not teched into Disruptors, for example. Speaking of, there we go. 2nd Robo and a base on the way. Did cancel this. Oh, never mind. Okay. A little bit indecisive. He was working towards Disruptors, but now looks to go into Archon instead. Working towards Charge Archon. Regardless, whether it's Disruptor or Archons, it feels a little bit late. Feels a little bit delayed here for Ateshi, and I'm a little bit concerned that Rebellion's just going to be able to outpace him, but we'll see. As the armies are about to clash. Oh! Going for that Templar. Oh! Does not quite get the snipe. Storm zones away. The High Templar does survive. It's going to be how many High Templar? 4. 4 High Templar so far. The base is scouted. Ateshi is aware. He's going for a slow drop. Oh, sorry, for a slow lot drop into the main. Zells have arrived. Your Rebellion, he wants to dive on the main army. Chases it back for now. The drop does depower some of these gateways. I believe Ateshi is now aware of the expansion. He did spot the cannon. He goes back into the main, going for a warp in. Other reinforcements back at home. Main armies once again clashing. High Templar survive. And Ateshi, even though he doesn't commit, even though he doesn't break any base, he's at least getting away with his tech. And Charge is finishing up. He's working towards some Archon production as well. He'll get there. Another massive warping into the main. Some of it out of vision. Dragoon's getting caught out. There is detection as well from Ateshi. At the same time, main army's going to be clashing the Storms though. Oh my god. Storms, they keep back the Stalkers. It's not something you often see. Storm versus Blink Stalker. As Rebellion expanding towards top left. Again, he's like skipping expansions. Like, it's crazy. Like, Rebellion going for, like, he's skipping bases, which makes it that much harder to scout. Going for top left. Stalkers, they will go for the third. Rebellion coming in from behind. Out of position. Ateshi doesn't commit. He scouts, he's looking for another base. He finds none. Does he go up the ramp? Up! He doesn't. Now he has to. It's in the cannons! We'll be able to focus him down. Does get one at least. The other cannon adds some DPS. Does help. Does force a recall. Yo, the flanking cannons! Crazy! Meanwhile, Zella warping into the main, getting into the production. No major damage, but he does get a gateway. Does get a couple of pylons. Does force back the army. Okay, we mentioned this before, but there is no recall. I mean, not without Arbiters, I should emphasize. So his production, Rebellion, he is struggling a little bit here, pushing through the center. Archon goes down. Rebellion bleeding out some units. They're bleeding out key units here. Oof, another Archon falls. Back at home, the Zealots are still not cleaned up. Rebellion now turning back around. He has to. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand here. But it looks like finally Ateshi's going to be forced out, but the Warp Prism is still alive. And again, this is just buying time for Ateshi to establish his third and now work towards a fourth. A pretty exposed fourth base, but also kind of out of the way. Rebellion has not confirmed. Ateshi gets ready for another Zealot run by, another Zealot drop. Rebellion keeping up with the main army rotations. He does find the Stalkers. Not bad. Forcing them back. Reinforcements on the way. Zealot drop once again into the main. Zealot towards the third, and Rebellion, he doesn't care. He commits. Does commit across the map, but we have a wall of Archons and Immortals. Yeah, Ateshi's ready for this. At least he's hoping to be. Do you have a couple of Storms? Overcharge gonna get popped. Ateshi's holding. Meanwhile, across the map, 6 probe kills, third base is forfeit. Warping into the main. Ooh, the Prism is gonna be targeted. The Prism finally goes down. Warp Prism gets cleaned up, but you can see Ateshi does take a supply lead. And he does get a kill as well, just pulling Rebellion apart. Rebellion, I mean, the War Prism, I should say, was the MVP of this game. Just non-stop harassing the main at the third, back and forth. The Natural going to be exposed. The army's pushing in. Rebellion's trying to race back. Coming in from behind. Do you get some decent Storms? But this Death Bull of an army, it looks a little bit too strong here. A couple of Archons going down. The Dragoons, they're trying to hold their own. We get the full surround. Stalkers, they come in from behind. And Rebellion's being cleaned up. He just cannot keep up. GG gets called. And Ateshi ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. A very chaotic game number 2. Again, Rebellion was getting away with some expansions. That's true. He was getting away with taking into Storm. If you remember, he was being quite greedy, and Ateshi almost punished him. But he did get away with that greed. We saw him get away with that DT defense, able to survive with the bare minimum. But last, he was torn apart by the War Prism harass, Zealot run-bys. Was having a hard time keeping up with the movements of the main army as well. And eventually, he was kind of forced into that attack, into his push. A push that Ateshi was ready for. Was ready for it. with that, GG well played. We are going to game 3. Let's go. Let us go. It's Zero. Just catching up with the chat. It's Zeratul, but true. Zeratul himself. For hire. Didn't win the game, but did keep it going. Did keep Rebellion in it. It's not safe to run around with scissors. Zealot practice safety. True. Brood War Zealots, they're a little bit more responsible, right? They're a little bit more responsible, you know. They don't want to hurt anyone unnecessarily. True. But here we go, we're getting into the Ace match, one of the more wild and chaotic maps out there. We're going to be loading into Monty Hall. Oh boy. And we have yet to properly experience a macro game on this map, and that may continue to be the case. I don't don't know if we're going to get there. We'll see us spawning in the top left-hand corner of Monty Hall. We have our South Korean Protoss player, the Pink Protoss, tying up the series, forcing the Ace match. It is Ateshi. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brutal Protoss player, the Red Protoss from South Korea. It is Rebellion. And let me just quickly set up the nameplate. I got you. Beautiful. There we go. We have our PVZ. Oh my god, Rebellion mining out every single patch. Okay. Does mine out all the mineral patches, is moving out for his scouts. Likewise, we do see Ateshi scouting towards the bottom left. You can see Rebellion just fanning out all his probes. And we'll see how he does open up. Rebellion going Nexus first. Crazy. Nexus before Gateway. This is as greedy as you can get in PvP. So Nexus before Gates. Sorry, Nexus even into Forge before Gateway. Ay. Very greedy build here by Rebellion. And Ateshi, he will confirm, does get eyes on the Forge at least. And will then get eyes on the expansion momentarily. Likewise, Rebellion moving out. He can go for some pylon blocks. Actually, proxying the main. He's crazy. Cannon rush? No shot. He's cannon rushing. The Forge is done. Nexus first into cannon rush. Let's go. The pylon is finishing, and he's going to be able to try to get within range of the gas. There we go. First cannon's on the way. Rebellion, calm down. I mean, he's distracting with the pylon block. True. He is distracting. Ateshi otherwise preoccupied. Ooh, he scouts though. He was about to mine through the minerals on the right hand side. Cannons are on the way. Probe gets around it. Ooh, probe does fall. And the cannon will finish. But how many probes does he bring down before it falls? It's going to be 1. It's going to be 2. Not too many, though. 3 probe kills. Only 3 workers. Alas, Ateshi will defend. That's a lot of lost mine time. True. A lot of lost mine time, but he will survive. He will shut this down. But he's still on 1 base. I could be mistaken, but I think like part of the cannon rush as well, not just to lay siege upon the gases, but also to try and delay the expansion. As Rebellion is heavily delaying the Nexus. Back at home, getting saturated, building up. Additional gateways on the way, Cybercore as well. Now finally, Ateshi can expand. And the question becomes, was that worth it? That's the real question. Because we do see that Rebellion lost 2 workers in the process. And a cannon and a pylon. Does delay the expansion, but I'm sure Ateshi's going to do his best to try to punish him. for now, just working with Stalkers. I mean, there's no tech until now. Twilight Council's on the way. This should be for Blink, but I mean, technically Dark Shrine is also going to be available here as well to go into DTs. Rebellion just fortifying himself. Dragoon range on the way. And I do feel like Rebellion, he should be able to get away with this. I don't see any aggression moving out anytime soon. The Dragoon Council can quite healthy for Rebellion as well. I almost forgot, but of course you have to mine through these minerals to break out. There we go. So that she has access to his own natural. Meanwhile, unlike the previous game, Rebellion, instead of going for a faster Citadel, is going for a faster Robo. And this should be leading into shuttle play, into Reaver drops. I mean, it does work that much better on this map just because of the terrain. The terrain is, I mean, it can be quite difficult for a ground-based army to keep up with something like a shuttle. I mean, we saw BCs pop off earlier today as well in the TBT. In saying that, I mean, that's where Blink comes into play. Right, so the ground army can struggle, but Blink Stalkers, I mean, they can even blink over these walls, or at least blink past the mineral patches and try to punish the shuttle itself. So risky maneuver by Rebellion, very risky. We'll see if he can make this work. Dragoons move out. So far just nibbling away at the energy on the shield battery. Oh! As one of the Stalkers takes a lot of hull damage, so does the other. Then she has to pull back. Shuttle's about to pop out. And Rebellion will soon be embracing that Reaver production. So the Reaver is on the way. Setting up for a third as well. Do love to see it. Meanwhile, Blink is done. There's 4 gateways behind this. 4 gate Blink Stalkers from Ateshi. Proxy Pilot as well to reinforce. Uh-oh. Ateshi is committing. But he's pushing into a brick wall. We have shield batteries. We have a cannon. A solid wall of Dragoons. Ateshi retreats. Setting up his own Robo for his own Immortal production. Getting a Proxy Gateway ready to reinforce. Does Ateshi expand, or does he commit on 2 bases? He's throwing down extra gateways. And oh, actually going for a forge. Okay. He's looking at macro. Taking extra gases. The forge for +1 is going to come into play much later. Ateshi blinking over the wall, rotating towards the center. Does blink over. Is spotted by the observer. Big scout here for Rebellion. He won't be able to expand. Third base is denied. So a nice rotation from the pink Protoss. Taking his own third behind this. Stalker's moving out. Dragoons are ready. The shuttle's still waiting for the Reavers. We're getting there. Rebellion attempting to expand right next to the proxy. Ateshi, he can just rotate over. Does need vision of the other side of the wall, unfortunately. There we go. He will get it. Oh! Warping is denied. Stalkers have arrived. And here come the Reavers. A Reaver shot's going to be going off. Shuttle does survive. 1 volley away from going down. Rebellion has to take a breath. Stalkers back up. Behind this, just doubling down on gateway production. Rebellion does break out. He's got 2 Reavers. Got plenty of Scarabs ready. Can he break through? Oh! Shuttle goes down. Shuttle does fall. Reaver's going to be targeted as well. They get a lot of shots off. Oh my god. And the Stalkers, they melt before the Reaver shots. Reavers go down, but they did their damage. And can Rebellion still break through? It's still a brutal choke point. With the defender's advantage, Ateshi does hold. His third base getting saturated. It's getting there. And Rebellion has to back off and rebuild that. So the prison, rebuild the shuttle, rebuild the Reavers. Second Robo's on the way. And again, of course, that's the downside of like Shuttle Reaver in PvP, is the Blink Stalkers, like they can punish you quite hard. The shuttle isn't as versatile as the Warp Prism. Not quite. When it comes to like the pickup range, I mean. Fun fact, there was a patch actually, I want to say like 3 weeks ago, there was a recent patch which did increase the pickup range of the shuttle. I think to 2. I think it was at 1, increased to 2 or something like that. It wasn't too big. It's still not as large as a Warp Prism, but they did increase it. Did happen recently. To 2.5, I think. Yeah, something like that. So once again, Adeshi does rotate. He denies the 4th base. Forces a cancel. Once again, Rebellion having a hard time keeping up. Again, we spoke about... Oh my god, Zero goes down. I thought that was a shuttle for a moment. But we spoke about this. Again, the StarCraft 2 Protoss player does have mobility on their side. That is their advantage. But Rebellion did establish his 3rd. He's building back up, investing into additional Reavers, additional shuttles. In a head-on fight when there are no shield batteries involved, I do think I want to favor Rebellion. But it's on Ateshi to avoid that head-on fight, to force the army back home, to pick off some key units, like the Reavers or like these bases. Just play hit and run until he can build up himself and get into his immortal count. Or disruptors. For now, it's immortal. No disruptor production yet. I wouldn't be opposed to it, especially considering that it's hard. It's that much more difficult to avoid Novas. As the Reaver drop does move in, it's so exposed. The first Reaver goes down. Get out of here. Why are we here? One Reaver falls, the other will escape. Does get out. Yo, Ateshi, he wants it. He wants the Reaver. Oh my god. He's on the hunt. At the same time, going for a counterattack. Will deny the 4th once again. The shuttle goes down. Yeah, the shuttle is found. That's 2 Reavers falling. Massive pickups. Ateshi is all over this. Gets the 4th. Gets 2 Reavers. Main army pushes out. Bearing in mind, though, Ateshi's main army split. He has most of his army towards the south, some of his forces here towards the north. His army is split. He cannot fight head-on. Does he recall? Does he recall back home? Or does he commit and go for a base trade? No shot, he runs back home. That'd be... Oh my god. He could actually try to come in from behind. Oh, a little bit indecisive. Yeah, there's some indecision. There's the recall. Recalls half his army. Trying to hold on. The other half does commit. Army blinks in. Takes down the prism. Takes down the shuttle. And the Immortals, they can go ham. Dragoons, they have to kite back. Dashi not quite blinking into the main. Does pull back. But at least he holds. Dashi, he holds on. He sniped all the Reavers. And he pulls back. I do think there was potential for him to go into the main base, but he thought better of it. Pulls back instead. Maybe he was just a little bit concerned that he wouldn't have the attention to focus at 2 places at once. Speaking of, Rebellion is double expanding. One of the bases is spotted. Stalker counterattack is set. Rebellion pushing right down mid. Uh-oh. And I believe Adeshi has no vision. Yeah, he has no vision here. He doesn't know. Base trade. Stalkers into the main. And Stalkers into the third as well. We're going for the base trade. Let's go. Adeshi turns around, actually. Never mind. He does turn back around. He's racing back home. Recall's on cooldown. Base will fall. Stalkers, they do depower a lot of the gateways. Islands are falling. Rebellion does commit. Reaver shots coming in. Oh. No major connections yet. We go for the blink. Shuttle falls. Reavers as well. Nice target firing here out of Adeshi. Has the concave in his favor. And Rebellion, he cannot push into this. Not like this. It's a meat grinder. Oh my god. So many Dragoons fall. And Adeshi, he takes the fight. He blinks on in. He shuts down the Dragoons. And the storm grazes the army, but it looks like Adeshi, he will take this. GG gets called. He shuts down the main army. And Adeshi, he will qualify for the SEL Fall Championship. GG. GG. GG, well played. I was a little bit concerned that nerves were getting to Adeshi. Again, there was a lot of indecision leading up to towards the end of the game when it came to even earlier the defense. Does he counterattack? Does he recall back home? Does he push? Does he not? It was a really tough position for Adeshi. In the end, he made the tough call to race back home in those final moments, and he was able to take the better fight. He blinked in, he sniped the disruptors. He sniped the Reavers, sniped the shuttles, was able to take the better trade, and GG. GG, well played. Adeshi does take it. My condolences to Rebellion. Again, I favored Rebellion coming into this, but it was a very chaotic kind of game state, a very chaotic PvP, and I'm happy to see Adeshi doing well, because he's a player that I'm unfamiliar with. He isn't really active in the SC2 tournament scene. He's mainly active here in StarCraft Evolution, and for him to take down one of the bigger names, one of the better known players, Rebellion, of course, he's Gelzing. He's been around for a very, very long time, for many years in StarCraft 2, has kind of been a mainstay when it comes to online tournaments. Will fall at the hands of Adeshi, and Adeshi makes it to the main event. GG. GG, well played. Wish him the best of luck. I hope he's able to refine his play and get ready. The StarCraft Evolution won't be for another couple of weeks. For those that are curious, !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. If you guys want to have a look at the Wikipedia page yourselves, I should emphasize, as StarCraft Evolution League does begin on the... Let me just double check here. Does begin mid-November, if not mistaken. November 16th. There we go. November 16th. So mid-November is when the group stage does begin. That's in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time is the main event. You may be wondering, 2 weeks? That's a long time. What do we have in those 2 weeks? Well, if you want some more StarCraft Evolution, we have another online tournament. We have the StarCraft Evolution bi-weekly tournament. Number 6. I believe number 6 is going to be next week. Yep, number 6 is next week. So if you want some more StarCraft Evolution action before the main event, next week we have you covered with the bi-weekly tournament. If you're curious, so there's still one more bi-weekly. Yes, this next bi-weekly will be able to cement and determine seeding for the invites. For those that are curious, there is a big event happening, but in the lead up to the event, there were all these weekly tournaments. They provide points. Depending on your placement in these open cups, they provide points to the players. Players, they accumulate points over time, kind of like EPT in a way. They accumulate these SEL points, and at the end of the season, which ends next week, based on the rankings, they get invited. So there are some big names like Honmono, like 3 Point, like Shin, maybe Classic as well. Basically, our champions and the top players in those online weeklies or online bi-weeklies will be invited. And the final one is next week. So we still need that final weekly to determine those invites, and then we can determine the final players for the championship. Here we go. When it comes to this event, of course, !B. To look at the challenge page, we can have a look ourselves. We have our top 4. We have Adeshi, we have Rumieth, we have Quanta, and the STC. 2 Terran players, a Protoss, and a Zerg. Rumieth, of course, the Korean Zerg. Adeshi, the Korean Protoss. We have Quanta and the STC as the Korean Terran players. So, oh my god, purely Korean representation through the qualifier. Shout out to all those competitors, all those that did compete, of course, though. Shout out to players like Boanan, fan favorites. Shout out to Rebellion, shout out to Satoru, shout out to Starat, and many other players as well. And again, those that didn't qualify today most likely will be here next week in the Open Cup to try to get that better seeding, to try to get those points and be invited into that main event as well. Here we go. Here we go. Rebellion's fine. No way he loses his point invite. Yeah. Again, there's only 1 weekly left to determine those points, so for the most part, a lot of the seedings when it comes to the point invites are kind of locked in, but I'm sure there's still a little bit there's a little bit of wiggle room there when it comes to overall placements, when it comes to seeding and all that stuff. So again, do look forward to it. Do look forward to it. Go. Just catching up in the chat. But outside of that, I believe we are going to be wrapping up. Also, Avex. Is that Avex? Is that the map maker extraordinaire? I did notice. I did notice earlier. I remember. I think Avex came out of retirement to help out a little bit in SC Evolution. Oh, it's you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the cast. Hope you enjoyed the content, and thank you so much, Avex. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for StarCraft, not just for StarCraft Evolution, which I do know that you came back for to help out a little bit when it came to you know, making the maps and transferring them over from Brood War and all that stuff. But also thank you for all the work that you've done in years past as well. For those who don't know, Avex is a very renowned map maker from years gone by. Doesn't really make maps for SC2 anymore, but did for a long time. Did do it for a very, very long time. Very passionate member of the community as well, so thank you. Thank you so much, Avex, for all that you've done in the history of StarCraft. Thank you. StarCraft would be worse off without you, to be honest. Very renowned map maker. Thank you. Thank you. He's famous. Oh my god. did a lot for StarCraft. Did a lot. And hey, even helped out here in SC Evo as well. So yeah, good to see you. Otherwise, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time here tonight. Give some love to Avex as well. If you're maybe a little bit newer to the scene, you may not be familiar with him. Again, especially because it's been a couple of years since Avex has dipped his toes into making maps for StarCraft 2. But yeah, big part of the scene, big part of the community. With that, we're going to be wrapping up for the day. Our next broadcast here on the CranKy Ducklings is going to be in less than 24 hours. We're going to be live with the Sparkling Tuna Cup. If you're curious, what the hell is the Sparkling Tuna Cup? I kind of mentioned it before. The STC was playing in this tournament, and basically the Sparkling Tuna Cup originally was a replacement for Alima League. Alima League did eventually, over time, you know, fall by the wayside. You know, it was the longest standing open cup centered around the Korean scene for a very long time as well. And we did start the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Why is it the Sparkling Tuna? It's, you know, it's a reference to Ryung the tuna himself, and also the STC. It's all kind of melded in there into one. But it's our open cup. It's our open cup at a more Korean-friendly time zone, Korean-friendly time slot. Is going to be at 8 p.m. my time, or I believe around 6 p.m. KST. So yeah, that's going to be our next broadcast here on the channel. Speaking of Alima League, it did leave us for a while, but just like how Avex is back, in a form, Avex has returned. So is Alima League. Alima League was recently announced to be returning next week. Next week, Alima League will be returning here to StarCraft 2, not in the same fashion. It won't be on Twitch. It's going to be on the Korean platform of Chizik. I think it's pronounced Chizik. You can correct me. And we will be the English casters. We'll be the English commentators for Alima League as well. Again, it won't be on this platform. It'll be on Chizik. We will be uploading the VODs to YouTube, so don't you worry. VODs will be available on YouTube, but the live broadcast will be over on the Korean streaming platform instead, as they are the main sponsors for Alima League. So great to see the return of that. We're going to be working alongside Ollie, alongside Crank as well. You know, it's really an honor to be a part of Alima League. For a very long time, you know, it was covered by Base Trade and Wardy and Maynard towards the end as well. You know, we kind of we were in a way kind of brought up with Crank. Like that's where we started, by Crank's community, Crank's English speaking community. That's why we call the CranKy Ducklings, you know, to pay tribute to Crank. And we were always a part of Alima League, especially early on as well. You know, there's many an Alima League that we all did compete in, that we all played in and signed up for, and it's great to be a part of Alima League in its return as well. Feels good, man, feels good. So we are going to be the official English stream that is going to be over on Chiswick. Otherwise, we have plenty more casting as well this week. We have the Wardy TV Monday, we have Alima League, we have Pigosaur Monday, we have the KSL rebroadcast, the replay cast, because we did miss KSL Live, Code for Giants Cup. We have at least one cast every day, usually 2 casts a day. A lot of StarCraft, a lot of content here on the CranKy Ducklings, so do consider following. Plenty of casting here on the channel, plenty more content to come, always on the CranKy Ducklings. I know that October was very light. October, we were casting like 5 days a week. That was very unusual for us. We usually cast every day, multiple times a day, but October was very light. It's the off season, but now we're ramping up. We're ramping up once again, casting as much as we can. All the StarCraft, all the StarCraft. Otherwise, with that, again, you can follow us on all the social medias. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We do stream on YouTube at the same time, so VODs are available as we speak. VODs are going to be on YouTube, and you can follow us on all the social medias. We post when we go live. You can support us on Patreon. You can support us how you wish. Otherwise, a follow is all that we ask of. And we'll see you guys in less than 24 hours for the Sparkling Tuna Cup. See you soon. See you soon. Until then, hasta luego. And best of luck to Hyper One with the StarCraft Evolution League. Best of luck. Best of luck with the championship. It's going to be amazing, I'm sure. See you next time. See you next time. Ciao. Papi, ciao. See you next time.